Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
One of the worst Jet seasons ever is officially over. Thank God. Will Aaron Glenn survive? He shouldn't, but we'll talk about the latest. But hey, the Jets might stink, but congratulations. History has been made. The first team in NFL history to have 0 interceptions. The 2025 New York Jets don't let go of the damn rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
What a joke. What a joke. I don't know how much time we could truly spend on just breaking down this game. We've seen this game for the last 5 weeks. The Jets just broke an NFL record, another one. They're the first team in NFL history to lose by 23 or more 5 straight games. Again, if your argument is to bring this head coach back, I simply ask you, why? What does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? He has proven nothing. He is someone you want to draft a quarterback with the number 2 pick. That's the only good thing that happened today. The Jets have the number 2 pick in the draft. Thank you, Giants. What good is that with this coaching staff? With the great Tanner Engstrand and Charles London, our running back quarterback coach, overseeing the development of Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore. There are so many issues with this team. And it all starts with the head coach, and beyond that, the owner, if he retains this head coach. Aaron Glenn promised so many things. None of it came to fruition. None of it. He walked back everything he said. And I don't care if the Jets are, quote, tanking. It should never look like how it's looked the last 5 games. 3-14, 5-game losing streak, outscored 188-54. This was never a game today. The Bills played their backups. Trubisky was out there the whole game. Josh Allen played 1 snap. Joke. There is 0 justification for retaining Aaron Glenn. If they move forward with Glenn, we are just delaying what we all know is coming a year from now when the Jets won't be any better. They'll win 4 or 5 games, and there'll be a head coaching search that will start a year from now in 2027. What's the point? How does this get better? What has Aaron Glenn shown anyone to think that he's the guy to oversee the rebuild this team is now undergoing? This didn't need to be a full-on rebuild. Oh, but Jake, they made the trades at the deadline. It's because they started 0-7. And we talk about these trades like they tore it down to the studs. They traded 2 players. They were 0-7 with Sauce and Quinnen Williams. The defense was allowing over 30 a game with those guys. The one game they won against Cincinnati, Sauce didn't even play. Neither did Garrett Wilson, for that matter. The 3 wins the Jets had this year were against Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and Kirk Cousins. 3 backup quarterbacks. They finished the year losing 7 of 8. Oh, but Jake, they won 3 of 5 after the trades, right? And then they finished by quitting on their coach. Aaron Glenn questioned the effort last week. What's he going to say today? Can't wait to listen to his press conference. Again, nobody actually has a compelling argument why Aaron Glenn should be retained. He had the audacity to highlight the fact, when asked for a list of positives from this year, that they didn't have any field goals blocked. That's right. Hey, congrats to the Jets. They might suck, but you know what? Our field goal protection has never been better. We are the 2025 field goal protection champions. I'm so disgusted. I mean, what is there even to say? Again, it's one thing to be bad. It is one thing to, quote, tank. But when guys are out there, they're trying, man. You could see it. You could see the quit. The guys being wide open, right? When Quincy Williams and Jamian Sherwood bite on play action hard, so there's a guy wide open for the Bills' first touchdown, is that tanking, or that's just guys that have made the same mistake all year round? I mean, again, guys are still playing that are out there, right? Harrison Phillips, he's showing effort. I understand the secondary is in shambles, but guess what? There's a lot of guys on this team that we've seen be good football players in the past, and they all just forgot how to play this year, apparently. Oh, because they're tanking, right? People have no idea what they're talking about when they say that. It should never look this bad, ever. A couple weeks ago, the Raiders almost beat the Texans. They're tanking too. Again, 35-8, and the backups for the Bills were playing the entire game. Mitch Trubisky had the game of his life. Look at the stat line you see on the screen. Aaron Glenn doesn't have a clue what he's doing. He'll tell you he's got this big plan. His plan, I promise you, was to not join Rich Kotite and Adam Gase as the only coaches in Jet history that 14 losses or more in a single season. He did it in year one. And reportedly, you're going to bring this head coach back, Woody? Really? Now would be the time to act. You have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. You have the second pick in the draft. You're guaranteed to get, if he comes out, which, by the way, let's just assume Dante Moore comes out for the argument I'm going to make here. What if he's like, I don't want to be a Jet? Could you blame him? Could you blame him? Congrats to Sam Darnold, by the way, on joining Tom Brady as the only quarterback ever to win 13 games or more, or 14 games or more, whatever the stat is in back-to-back years. What if Dante Moore's like, I don't want to be ruined by Aaron Glenn. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's such a joke. Before I continue to rant and rave, because I'm just so disgusted with this team, I do want to shout out everyone who's tuned in to the shows this season. This is our final post-game show of the year. We go live after every Jet game starting in August with the preseason. So this is our 20th and final post-game show for the 2025 season. So sincerely, thank you for watching. We'll be with you every step of the way. I'm the only Jet content creator, I believe, that will be at the Senior Bowl later this month, Super Bowl Radio Row in San Francisco, and the NFL Scouting Combine. So thank you to the audience for making it possible. Please hit the subscribe button and make sure you like the video. It goes a long way. You guys are the best. In honor of the fact it's our last post-game show, let's do a sick giveaway at the end of the stream. A signed Rex Ryan helmet is up for grabs. Try and manifest some better times for the Jets. In fact, I got the helmet right here. It is a signed Rex helmet. I got it in my hand. I will mail it to the winner tomorrow, should that winner send me their information after the Wheel of Champions at the end of the stream. So just want to say thanks again to the audience. You guys are the best. But again, we'll get to Aaron Glenn's presser. I'm just sitting here watching this game and thinking, like, what is there to say? Like, Woody Johnson has made an enormous amount of mistakes. Retaining this head coach and moving forward with him would be right up there with any of the biggest ones he has made. Again, it's not that they're losing. Trust your eyes, people. What has improved this year? Aaron Glenn said this team would get better. He said this team would play for him. He said they would go out there and be a team that fans, us, would be proud of. Then walked all that back. What has he improved? What has he done well? Again, if Aaron Glenn ends up being a successful head coach, he's the ultimate outlier. This season, Aaron Glenn became the 29th first-time NFL head coach in the last 25 years to win 4 or fewer games in his first season. You got that? Only 8 of the previous 28 head coaches ever had at least one winning season. Aaron Glenn, if he ever figures it out, would be the ultimate outlier. Some of the names that did figure it out, one of them Zach Taylor. He is Joe Burrow. One of them's Dan Campbell. It's Ben Johnson and Jared Goff. How is Aaron Glenn going to turn this around when it's this bad? Again, this is one of the worst teams in history. Not just in Jet history, in history. The numbers back that out. There's so many different metrics that show you it would be a criminal decision to move forward with this head coach. Worst NFL team since 1978 in combined offensive and defensive DVOA. The New York Jets are third on the list. They're in front of the '08 Lions. They didn't win a game. It's sickening what we are being asked to put up with as a Jet fan if they run it back with this coach. You're asking him now to pick a new defensive coordinator. He's supposed to be a defensive guy. You're asking him now to make more decisions on the quarterback situation. It's not just going to be draft Dante Moore and call it a day if he declares. Who are the veterans? They got to win games. Who are they signing? The last time they signed a quarterback, it was Justin Fields, and Aaron Glenn said it was because he was tough to game plan against when I was in Detroit. I don't enjoy saying this, right? People are like, oh, you hate Aaron Glenn. No, I don't. I love the Jets, and I have immense respect for Aaron Glenn as a player, and I'm sure he's a fine assistant coach. He is not a head coach. When he is showing his team plays from the Jaguars blowout, when they scored a rushing touchdown down 40-13 with Isaiah Davis as an example of their brand, it is clear he doesn't know what he's doing. When he is saying that the Jets didn't show effort and then walking it back a day later, it is clear he has no feel for his team and was worried about losing the locker room. Aaron Glenn does not do anything well as a head coach. When I ask someone trying to defend him that question, they don't have an answer. They don't. Moving forward with him would be an unmitigated disaster. You are setting up the next quarterback to fail. Let's do everything to set up that next quarterback to have success. What's our best case scenario now? Aaron Glenn returns, and we hope that the quarterback survives long enough to be saved by whoever the next head coach is. They're going to start 1-5 or 1-6 next year, and he's going to be fired then. Why are we not being proactive? Oh, but Jake, Woody's going to have to pay him. Okay, he just bought a soccer team for $250 million. He has the money. You know, Aaron Glenn's got 4 years and $40 million left on his deal. Cool. Doesn't count against the cap. Woody's got money. What are we doing? He's a defensive guy whose team didn't have a single interception all year. Not one INT. Most weeks they don't come close. He's going to hire a DC. What DC would want to work for this guy? Why would anyone want to risk their career working for a coach who's on the hot seat? By the way, what free agent would want to come to the Jets unless they're grossly overpaid like Tremaine Johnson? Why would anyone want to come here? The coach looks inept. People around the league are laughing at the Jets. The way they just get punked by every team. Teams running up the score on them. They have no respect for this guy. Why would they? The only argument people have for keeping Aaron Glenn is, oh, who would come here? Well, it's 1 of 32. People would come here. Anyone might be an upgrade, oh, by the way. Or the other argument is, well, it's only been 1 year, which is you're straight up admitting he's not the guy. You can't actually make a football case why he should stay. Woody Johnson may be afraid to fire Aaron Glenn after 1 year, or his ego might not allow him to admit a mistake. But it's going to be far worse when he fires him when the Jets are 1-5 next year, in the middle of the year, like the Titans did with Brian Callahan, or what the Bears did with Matt Eberflus. And then you're praying that the next head coach can fix the quarterback that you're on your way to ruining before it even began. Cut your losses now. Start fresh with an offensive guy. Mike McCarthy is out there. Kevin Stefanski might be out there. Harbaugh or Tomlin might be available. And if you can't get those guys, guess what? If you're going to go down the first-time head coaching route again, try it with an offensive guy. Andy Reid was a quarterback coach when the Eagles once hired him. All right, Josh McCown is out there. Try anything that is not a defensive coach who sucks in all aspects of defense and has shown you nothing as an overall head coach to warrant spending $100 million in cap and spending the number 2 pick on a quarterback. I beg of Woody Johnson to do the right thing for this fan base. Enough. You cannot watch this team and think they're headed in the right direction. The special teams unit was great. Chris Banjo can be retained. You know what happened when Gerard Mayo got fired? Mike Vrabel came in and Jeremy Springer, their special teams coordinator, was retained because he did a good job. Mike Westhoff was the special teams coordinator for 3 different Jet head coaches. So was Brant Boyer. You can retain the special teams coordinator and get a new head coach. What are we doing? Again, if they move forward with Glenn, if it's official after tomorrow, he's coming back, I'll sit in the seat all offseason and I will root for him to prove me wrong because I am a Jet fan first and foremost. But I have a sickening feeling that it's not getting any better. We've seen this. Trust your eyes, Jet fans. This was unwatchable. Don't tell me, well, they made the trades at the deadline. It goes beyond that. This head coach said they're not the same old Jets when they were 0-3 and blew that game in Tampa. He's right. They're worse. This is worse than the 2020 Gase year. This is. Because this team actually has some players on it. They started the same 5 offensive linemen all year. Remember the stat that PFF had? That the floor of every team that finishes with a top 10 offensive line, the floor is 7 wins. They finished with 3 wins. They needed a miracle against the Browns to get one of those wins. They scored a touchdown twice on special teams. Against Atlanta, they needed a muff punt at the 2-yard line to set up one of their scores. And a Nick Folk kick in the rain. They have done nothing to show you, nothing, that this is the right coaching staff going forward. We have a running back who is the QB coach for the head coach who said Justin Fields has never been coached up properly. What an insult and slap in the face to Mike Tomlin, who went 4-2 with his dog crap quarterback. And say whatever you want about Fields. He had never been this bad in his career. And he stinks. He had never been this bad. Oh, but Jake, they're playing Brady Cook. Explain the defense. Where's the creativity from Engstrand? They run the same plays. It's so predictable what they're doing. First-time offensive play caller who was terrible in year 1. We're going to bring him back now in year 2. Again, there's talk of the Jets trying to make changes to their offensive staff. What's the point of keeping the head coach? What does Glenn do? Right? He's not involved in the defense. His defenses in Detroit, by the way, weren't even that good. The numbers back that out. So what does Glenn do? Here are the numbers in Detroit. Defensive genius, though. Had to hire him. Had to give him control over personnel as well, even though he's never been in either role. It makes absolutely no sense. We're just wasting our time. Rather than do this in 2027, which is going to happen when they win their 5 games next year, let's do it now. This is the most attractive the job will be with the resources they have. I don't care if they get more. I don't care if they get Mendoza. They will not succeed with this head coach. There's no way. We have seen this. We have lived this as fans. Don't do the Sam Darnold thing again. Trust your eyes, Woody. This team just went the entire year without a pick. They play 17 games. This coaching staff is an abomination. Why would you trust Aaron Glenn now to make more hires? Who's coming to work for him? Why would anyone have faith in this head coach? His team quit on him. That's what this was. We could try and spin it any other way. The same people saying, well, Jake, they made the trades. You were lauding him when they won 3 of 5. And then they played the Dolphins at home, division opponent, and guess what? They got destroyed. They finished 0-6 now against the AFC East. If you can't even compete with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, you can't even compete with Josh Allen and the Bills, and you can't even beat a mediocre Dolphins team, how does it magically get better with a rookie quarterback next year? You could add more talent to the team. It doesn't matter. The coaching is so bad. It is so behind the 8 ball. It is so not for 2026. It's not the modern NFL. Their brand, the identity. It's a bunch of horse crap. Brand and identity. What's the brand and identity of the LA Rams or the Kansas City Chiefs? What's the identity of the Denver Broncos? It's about winning games, about innovation, about having good coaches who scheme players open, put guys in position to be successful. That's what DeMeco Ryans does as a defensive coach in Houston. That's what Mike McDonald does. Also hires a great staff. That's why Clint Kubiak's probably going to be a head coach by someone. Right? Sam's offensive coordinator. Again, today was an awesome day for the Jets draft situation. No one can dispute that. But why would anyone feel good about this coach getting to make the number 2 selection in the draft? There's no way. Even with that Colts pick. Colts pick could be anywhere from 15 to 17. Right now it's 15. The lowest it could be would be 17. Great. The Sauce Gardner trade's awesome. Now's the time to act. Oh, but Jake, it's not fair to get rid of a coach after a year. You know what's not fair? Going 3-14 after you said you're here to win now and going forward. After you said you're not the same old Jets. After you said Justin Fields has never been coached properly. After you tried to punt all the defensive blame on Steve Wilkes. You're a defensive coach. Embarrassing. 0 interceptions. You're up there. You're being asked, some positives for the year. And you're going to sit there and try and tell us you haven't had a field goal blocked as this great thing. A joke.
The field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
I've never been more embarrassed as a fan of this team. We have the best fans in sports. And this is the dog crap product that we have been fed for 15 years. It's embarrassing. It really is. Anyone defending this is part of the problem. This is not normal. I'm getting texts from people that cover other teams. How are they bringing this coach back? Like people that didn't even know anything about the Jets this year. They saw that stat about the interception today and they couldn't believe it, right? Because Schefter tweeted it out in the morning that since 1933, no NFL team has ever gone a full year without a defensive interception. Until today. Until Aaron Glenn said, oh yeah? Watch this. Yeah.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Instead of having stupid catchphrases, how about winning games? How about actually having a plan and not adjusting your plan a million times? Remember Aaron Glenn peacocking at his press conference?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're shit.
Dog shit would be more appropriate. I'm so tired of it, man. And the people justifying it, you're part of the problem. It should never look like this. This is every bit what a one-and-done coach looks like. And to those saying, whoa, it would set the franchise back, look at what happened to all the one-and-done coaches since 2016. Let's start with Chip Kelly. After Chip Kelly was canned, that led to Kyle Shanahan. You'll see that tab, right? Playoffs under replacement. You'll notice a lot of green. Steve Wilkes led to Cliff Kingsbury, who, by the way, had taken 2 seconds to give him a second chance as a head coach and develop Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. Freddie Kitchens led to Kevin Stefanski. He made the playoffs twice in Cleveland. Maybe the only other dysfunctional franchise as bad as us. Urban Meyer led to Doug Peterson, made the playoffs, won a playoff game. I was in Houston. I covered David Culley. Aaron Glenn is just as bad. David Culley led to Lovie Smith, which led to D'Amico Ryans. Texans did one and done twice. Then they finally got it right. If you know the answer is that this guy does not have the goods, which he does not, then don't move forward with him. Nathaniel Hackett led to Sean Payton. Denver said, we're tired of being a laughingstock. We haven't made the playoffs since Peyton Manning was our quarterback and we won the Super Bowl. They had the second longest playoff drought in sports behind the Jets. And they said, enough is enough. We're getting Sean Payton. Year 2, he's in the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Year 3, they're the 1 seed. Frank Reich's now in the playoffs too. He should be green in this tab here. We'll update the graphic. Antonio Pierce led to Pete Carroll. He's gone. They got the number 1 pick. They'll get a good coach. They have Fernando Mendoza coming to them. And Gerard Mayo led to Mike Vrabel. Enough said. Anyone sitting here trying to act like there's any justification for moving forward with a head coach who is responsible for one of the worst seasons by every metric in not only Jet history, but NFL history is a clown, is a fool, is deceiving you, lying to you, trying to cover their own ass. They have no plan. They are not prepared. The players think he's a joke. Tremaine Johnson scoffed at the question about effort last week. Tells you all you need to know. Again, what does Aaron Glenn do well? Tell me. We know we can dance. We know the Jets can protect during the field goal operation. What does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? Need the answer to that question. He gives great hugs to Woody Johnson.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Laughable. To move forward with him as the head coach would be so Jets, which is why they're going to do it. Anyone actually think Woody Johnson will do the right thing here? Anyone have any faith Woody Johnson will actually listen to his fan base, own a mistake, recognize that what we're watching this year is not normal, it's unacceptable? Does anyone actually feel that way? Because I don't. If losing 35-8 to the Bills playing all their backups is not enough, after you just set the record for the worst December ever by point differential, after you just broke a record that will never be broken, the record that the Jets broke of not having an interception all year, that is one of the, that will last for an eternity. As long as they're playing professional football, no team will ever match that record. It will not happen. That record is safer than the Joe DiMaggio hit streak. That record is the safest record in all sports. You name a record, it is safe. Wayne Gretzky's points, whatever metric you want. They will never, ever win with this head coach. And the second more people realize, the better. Because if they run it back with him, we are setting ourselves up for a 4 or 5 win season and a coaching search in 2027. Why delay what we all know is coming? Get out in front of it. He hasn't earned the right to return. He's showing the team highlights from a game they're down 40-13 and lost 48-20. Their brand of football. Your brand is ass. That's your brand. You said you were going to change the perception of the Jets. You made it worse. You come in peacocking, puffing your chest. We're not the same old Jets. We're here to win now.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions?
And he started sounding like Salah. Brought that moat mentality to this team. Big ships take a while to turn. Instant coffee league. Bunch of nonsense, man. I'm sure the Jets had a great week of practice, though, during this stretch that they've been outscored 188-54. Embarrassing. 0-6 against the AFC East. Now, I know they were 0-5 with a negative 95-point differential going into the game today. I suck at math, so I don't know what it is now. But somebody add 35 and 8 and come up with the math, because that's their point differential. They're now 0-6 against the AFC East. It's embarrassing. Aaron Glenn didn't know how long the game-winning field goal was in London. He said the last 4 minutes belonged to the head coach. The Jets were an abomination in the last 4 minutes of each half. That's when the games were close. Now they're just getting blown out because they quit on them. Oh, but Jake, they're tanking. Yep, tanking, but the defense still had what? Until Will McDonald got put on IR last week, I count 6 or 7 starters. Should it really be that bad? I mean, Harrison Phillips is still out there. Jermaine Johnson, Quincy, Sherwood, they're out there. Till today, Brandon Stevens and McDonald have been out there. Briggs, does he count? He should. One of their better players. It's a joke. They can't even pretend to be competitive. That's 63 yards at halftime today compared to the 250. And forget just this game. All right, and forget even the last 5 games. I was out on Glenn when they started 0-7 because I recognize a phony when I see one. The idea he's now going to hire a DC, make great improvements to the offensive staff, be able to pick the right quarterback, be able to surround that quarterback with the right infrastructure is laughable. He has no experience doing any of that. He says he has a plan. There's no plan. He's asking us just to put blind faith in him. He went 3-14 in his first year. There is nothing that this coach does well. No one can say one thing that he does well. The only argument for keeping him is, oh, who would want the job? Someone will take the job, I promise you that. And it's only been 1 year. If Aaron Glenn didn't play for the Jets 30 years ago, any people trying to hold on to anything wouldn't have it. Let's be honest. Let's not lie to ourselves. If Aaron Glenn played for the Denver Broncos and that was his playing experience, he probably would be fired. It wouldn't even be a debate. And again, if he's here, I will root for him to prove me wrong because I love this team and want to be wrong and root for the Jets. But I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all okay or this is normal. This is what tanking looks like, Jake. No, it's not. It's not what tanking looks like. The Raiders, by the way, won today. They were tanking. They won 14-12. That's competitive. That's Pete Carroll knowing he's getting fired. They're still playing for him. Explain that. That's what tanking looks like, please. A bunch of nonsense. If you buy that, you are a fool. Speaking of fools, let's listen in for the final time to Mr. Accountability. By the way, how great was the penalty, the face mask that took away one of the stops in this game by the Jets? You were just waiting for it. But the penalty problem's been cleaned up. The fact that he lauded the penalty improvement and they went from 31 to 23 is deplorable. That was the improvement, by the way. Oh, but Jake, he cleaned up the penalties. Right. Samini has the numbers right here. Here were the Jets going into today's game with their penalty improvement. 31st last year, 23rd this year. Joke. But the field goal protection has never been better. Here we go for the final time. Mr. Accountability at the podium.
Injuries from this game. Quincy with his hand, which you guys all know that. And then Kane had a hamstring. Obviously, man, the game was disappointing. And The only thing that I can think about is moving on to next year and taking this whole season, and I let the players down. I let the organization down, and that burns me. It really does. This was not expected of where we are this season, and I understand that. But here's what I do know. I know the reason why I came here, and I am not going to waver from my beliefs on what I think wins games in this league. And I am very confident in myself. I'm very confident in this organization. I'm very confident in our owner. I'm very confident in Mooj. And we're going to work our ass off to get this shit exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You're going to do nothing but lose. That's what you're going to do, Aaron Glenn. How do you think we feel as fans? You let us down. Change your beliefs. That's the problem. Your beliefs are, oh, you got to run the ball, physicality, smash mouth. That's not what wins in 2026. It's about strategy. You said 2 weeks ago it's not about the X's and O's. This league is all about the X's and O's. What are the Lions without Ben Johnson this year, Aaron? What were the Jaguars before Liam Cohen showed up? Look at the Bears with Ben Johnson now. Go down the line. Look at Sean Payton with Denver. Look at what Mike Vrabel did. He's a strategist and a motivator. Hires a great coaching staff. Brings Mike McDaniels with him as the OC for Drake May. I'm glad you feel like you let the organization down. You let the fans down. You let everyone down. You ran your mouth, tried to talk this big game with the media. You've accomplished nothing. Tried to act like you're Bill Parcells. You've done nothing. Nothing. Oh, he comes from the school of Parcells. He comes from the school of Rich Kotite. That's who he is. That's who he's joined. Gase Kotite Glenn. That's what he is. That's what he will be until proven otherwise. And I hope like hell I am wrong if he is retained. I am rooting for this man to prove me wrong. But I'm not going to sit here and act like this is totally normal what we have watched this year. It is not, and this fan base deserves better than this garbage. Don't tell me they're tanking. They started 0-7. He didn't have a clue. Didn't have a clue. Apologize to the fans. You didn't just let the organization down. You let this fan base down that tried to believe in you because you were a Jet, which I could give two shits about. I don't care if the head coach of the Jets is Barney, an alien. I don't care. It could be anyone if they win. Embarrassing. This fan base deserves so much better than this garbage. Oh, we got a plan. We're going to work our asses off. You had no plan. And if you did, it's the wrong plan because your plan was Fields and Steve Wilkes and, oh, let's do this, let's do that. This is how we're doing it. You had no plan. You're a disgrace. You got a plan. Is the plan to have the entire stadium next year with the opposition's fans? Because who's showing up to watch you guys ruin the next quarterback? Hey, here's Dante Moore. Can't wait. He's going to do great, I'm sure, with the great Charles London and Tanner Engstrand coaching him up. Embarrassing. I gave the Jets too much credit. I smelt 4 wins earlier in the offseason. Couldn't even win 4. Joke. And then because of his peacocking and everything he was preaching over the summer, taking shots at Saleh, taking the same roster, thinking they could coach it up. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're better than I thought. Maybe they can win 6 or 7 games. I was at 7. I went down to 6 after the ABT injury. God, was I wrong. What a joke. And go look at the Patriots and the Steelers roster before we talk about how big of a joke the Jets roster is, please. I thought Aaron Rodgers is washed. There's no way you could have a winning year. There's no way they could be competitive. Go look at the Pats roster. Where's all their superstar talent? It is coaching and quarterback play. The Jets have neither. You can't have one without the other. One elevates the other. See Bo Nix with Sean Payton. So now Aaron Glenn's going to elevate Dante Moore, who's a 1-year starter. He's going to be the guy to coach this guy up. He's going to put him in the best position to not be a bust like Zach Wilson or Sam Darnold. Here's the Jets showing tremendous improvement against backups, right? Here's the great Brady Cook out there today. Oh, what a moment in time this was. Genius operation here. This is coaching guys up. The Aaron Glenn way, baby. Hell yeah. But hey, no interceptions. Hang the mother effing banner.
I'll tell you this. This season's on me. It's on me. And I get that. But I'll tell you this. We're going to work our ass off, right, starting tomorrow to make sure we get this shit right. I do know that. Any questions?
What do you feel like you could have done differently this season?
Well, there's a number of things.
Decline taking the job.
And I will have a whole self-reflection starting tomorrow. And I would take a good week on really identifying each and every one of those things. Obviously, we didn't do enough to win games, and that's what it really comes down to. I mean, I can nitpick and I can talk about a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, we didn't do enough to win enough games.
AG, how do you not, with the way things could go, and
Yep.
you talk about confident you are, obviously, how do you not have that confidence shaken a little bit by the way things have gone, particularly the last 5 weeks?
Yeah. I think you guys know my history, and I've been there and I've done that. So that's why my confidence is not shaking. And I can go all the way back from my time in Cleveland to New Orleans to Detroit.
As an assistant coach, it's a different job. It is a different job. I don't care about his experience in Detroit. He was a good assistant coach. That means nothing. You're the head coach. It is a completely different role. What is your hallmark? What is your calling card? Willie Colon saying it on SNY this week. What is his superpower? What's the thing you could point to he does well? Gase was horrific. You know what I could say he did well? The opening drive. I can't find one thing that Glenn does well. Not one. Robert Saleh was not a good head coach. He at least was a good defensive coach. The Jets had good defenses. They did. We saw player development on that side of the ball. You could go chapter and verse on that. And I don't want to defend Saleh. He wasn't good. And Glenn is so much worse. It goes Gase, Kotite, Glenn, until proven otherwise. That's where we're starting from. I don't care if you were in Detroit. You're not Dan Campbell. You're certainly not Ben Johnson. You're not Brad Holmes. You were in New Orleans. Great. You are not Sean Payton. You never will be. Maybe Chris Banjo can be, because that's the only guy that seems to coach on this team.
I've been there and done that. And listen, I understand what everybody on the outside is saying. And and I'm going to take all those arrows, and that's okay, right? Because I do know this. It's going to turn. It's going to turn. I'm very confident in that. So I look forward to getting back. I look forward to starting this offseason. I look forward to sitting down with Mooj. I look forward to sitting down with Woody and putting our heads together and talking about how we're going to get this thing turned in the right direction.
What do you think those conversations are going to be like between you and also?
Very positive conversations. I do that. And I'm talking about on the go for it. I mean, obviously, the season didn't end like it should. The season didn't happen like we wanted it to. But you reflect on it, you talk about it, and then you move on. And what's the plan? What's the vision going forward? That's what those conversations will be about.
I'm sorry. What you said to us, is that what you expressed?
Say it again?
What you said to us when you first came out here, is that what you expressed to them in there?
As far as
that it's on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Aaron, is there anything you can point to this season to give people on the outside confidence that you're the right guy to turn this around?
You know what? That's the tough. It got to be trust. It got to be faith.
Oh, yeah. We've been having faith for a very long time. Might have been 15 years. This team hasn't won a Super Bowl since Super Bowl III, but hey, who's counting? How about some tangible evidence you're the guy? Some things you could point to. He had a chance to do that earlier this week, and he brought up field goal protection. Again, I don't enjoy doing this to Aaron Glenn, but I'm not just going to sit here and let him bullshit this great fan base. It's faith. There's no faith. You need a plan. We need evidence of a plan. You have nothing. Great, they have the number 2 pick in the draft. That doesn't mean anything. We are going to watch Aaron Glenn get fired in the middle of next year when they get off to a horrific start. We all know what's coming. The Titans won 3 games last year, too. Started the year with Cam Ward and set him up to fail. Brian Callahan got fired. Matt Eberflus retained by the Bears so they could draft Caleb Williams. Fired. Didn't even make it through the end of the year. Urban Meyer didn't make it through year 1. Hackett didn't make it through year 1. What are we doing? It's just silly. Defensive coach, whose defense was one of the worst ever, set an NFL record for becoming the first team in history to not have an INT. Already fired his DC. So now let's let him pick a new DC, hire a new staff on that side of the ball, hire a new offensive staff, because apparently Tanner Engstrand needs to stay, or if he doesn't stay, you're going to replace 2 coordinators in the same offseason. What foundation was laid this year? The only thing you did was suck, and you couldn't even be bad enough to suck and get the first pick. It's the number 2 pick. Who cares? Honestly, I don't even know how to feel right now because I'm too high strung. Yeah, I almost wonder if it's better as a Jet fan if Dante Moore stays in school. Then this coach can't ruin him. And when 2027 with a different coach, we'll be able to actually get a chance to get someone in here to take their quarterback of choice with hopefully the 3 first-round picks we don't stupidly trade away for something dumb. I don't even know what to think right now. I know one thing, though. If Woody Johnson is honest with himself, he knows it will never work with this man as the head coach. And the Jets' problems all did not start with Aaron Glenn, but he was supposed to come in and have the arrow pointed up, that this team had an identity. We were going to see player development. He said we see a team that wouldn't quit, that would fight for him. And they quit on him. He called it out publicly last week, and that wasn't the first time. He just finally realized, I got to say something. Again, Aaron Glenn's a good human. He's a Jet. I respect him as a coach, respect his playing career. We don't need to pretend this man is ever going to be the guy that leads the Jets to the playoffs. It will not happen, and I hope that I am wrong. I will sit up here and admit I was wrong and will gladly celebrate Aaron Glenn if he proves me wrong. We don't need to pretend this is normal. All right, there's a reason why it was alarming when they started 0-7. No Jet coach has ever in their first year started worse than 0-4. Only 2 Jet coaches have ever lost 14 games or more in a season. Gase, Kotite, Glenn. That's where we're at. Why are we moving forward? Everyone around the league is laughing at the Jets for retaining this guy. Did you see the video of Adam Schefter today on SportsCenter? I would play it on YouTube, but I'd get flagged. I tweeted it out at Jake Asman if you want to see it. Adam Schefter breaking the news that Glenn's expected to be retained is laughing at the idea of it. You're being laughed at. The Bills couldn't wait to run up the score with backups in the game. The Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, they laugh at the Jets. You're getting punked by the Saints. They're running gadget plays so Taysom Hill could throw a touchdown at the end of a blowout game against your ass. This coach will not succeed. We all know it. We don't need to pretend. We could stop. We could stop the horse shit and acting like this is normal. It's a joke. I will get to the end of the Glenn presser. Again, we got 1,800 of you in here watching live. We're all sick in the head. I love all of you. Final post game of the year. God bless all of you for still watching the show, even though the team we all love and support is dog crap. Rex Ryan signed helmet with certificate of authentication is the raffle prize. We will raffle it away at the end of the show. Like the video. Make sure you are subscribed. As always, FanDuel Sportsbook is our presenting sponsor. We got 1 game left in the NFL season. Ravens and Steelers. Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. If the Steelers win, they're champions of the North. If the Ravens win, they're champions of the North. You can bet on all of it with FanDuel Sportsbook. They are, of course, the go-to for betting on any NFL game at any time. All right, here's the rest of Mr. Accountability, and then we'll get to your calls and super chats.
And the thing is, like I said before, I've been here, done that. And I just know myself. Hopefully the fans know that. And I understand this season was not the way that everybody wanted to go, and I get that. But, again, just don't let go of the rope. And just trust me. And I know it's hard to say. Just trust me and have faith in what we're doing.
I know you're talking about moving forward.
What are you doing? Notice he can't give one tangible thing on what he's doing. He's asked a question, why should people trust you? He says faith. Not, we have a plan. We learned from these mistakes. We've adjusted our evaluation on how we look at players. If you believe Aaron Glenn has a plan, you're a fool. You probably think that, I don't want to say something too extreme here. You probably think that, Godzilla is real too. I'm at a loss for words, man. All right. Don't let go of the rope. That's what you're going to tell us after a 3-14 season. Any Jet fan who has faith in this guy, you got to tell me why other than, well, he played for the Jets 30 years ago. Cool.
But as you go into this offseason, even as you're going into next season, and if losses happen and stuff like that, how much will the scars of this season still be on your mind as you go forward and as you try to teach these guys about how to respond to losing and things like that?
Well, the thing is, every season is different, and this locker room would not be the same, and that's just how it is.
How about the coaching staff?
So after every season, it doesn't matter if hell, we go 15-2. Once the season's over with, you go on to the next. So the NFL doesn't care. And this is a year-by-year league. So I'm not going to let this season affect me from going to the following season. The only thing I am going to do is learn from it, right? That's all you can do. So I'm not going to let anything that happened going on this year, affect me as far as my thought process going into next year. Learn from it, absolutely. But as far as, not wavering from I'm just not going to do that at all.
What was your message just to the team that they came off the field for the last time?
Listen, I love every one of those guys. I appreciate what they've done. But obviously we got a lot of work to do. And that's okay. Getting to offseason, once the offseason starts, we're going to work our ass off, and we remember everything. That's all I'm going to say. We remember everything.
Okay.
Are you embarrassed, and by the way, about the last 5 games?
That's a tough word, embarrassed.
You should be embarrassed. The answer is yes. Yes, I'm embarrassed. We've been outscored 188-54. No NFL team has ever lost 5 consecutive games by 23 points or more. Yes, I'm embarrassed. Why do I give a fuck more than you do? Excuse my language, but I'm sick of it. Up there with that defeatist attitude. We're supposed to believe he has a plan. Okay.
Say this, I'm not happy. I would say that. I think that's the better word. I'm not happy with the way that it went down. Anytime you lose in that manner, it's hard to be happy about that. So, but again, I'm not hiding from that. I'm not running from that. It's something that we have to eat that. And I know as the head coach, I have to do whatever I got to do to make sure that we get it turned around.
One of the things you said to us during the week was you were looking for complete.
Yep.
And that stuff. Did you see that today? I mean, what
our guys did, it was not an effort issue. All right, so I don't want to go down that road. Today was collectively of we missed tackles, and offensively we didn't do enough to go make some plays. We got to coach better, so collectively as a unit, that's what happened with this game. This game was all about that.
Thanks, everyone. Do Brady in his locker. Go ahead.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Joke. Bring him back for another year, though. Where did the coaching make anyone better on this team? Name a player that improved. On defense, there's one name, Jawan Briggs. Their best performance was in week 1 when there was no film on them, when no one knew what offense they were with Fields, when no one knew what exactly the defense was, and the defense sucked that game anyway, so it didn't even matter. And Mr. Accountability knew more than all of us. Oh, Xavier Gibson had to be on the team. Had to. Just had to fumble right week 1. Again, you cannot point to one thing that this coach does well. You cannot point to one thing that he has made better. When 0 blocked field goals made the short list on Friday of positives from the season, that tells you everything you need to know. When you have the worst December in the history of professional football, when you are the first team in history to lose 5 games in a row by 23 or more, that tells you everything you need to know. Do not let this coach pick a quarterback 2nd overall now. The only good thing that happened today is the Jets got a break with the Giants winning. Let's take advantage of the break for once and do the right thing and hire an offensive coach or a proven coach who can hire a good staff for that quarterback that they're going to draft. It's disgusting, man. Gross. All right, we'll get to your calls. We got super chats as well. Rex Ryan signed helmet is the giveaway. Again, I know I'm disgusted. I'm angry. I truly appreciate everyone who's watching this. We're all in this together for better or worse. And they keep this head coach. Start getting your list together for coaching candidates in 2027 because we all know where this is headed. Joke. Dan, first up today. Hello, Dan.
Jake, how you doing, man?
Oh, fantastic.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and recount what you're saying. I agree with everything you said. Obviously, you have a voice to the Jets fans, and that's why I came on here. It is clear to me that, unfortunately, Glenn is going to come back. I think to all the Jet fans out there that are watching, that have season tickets, Put your money where your mouth is. Do not renew the season tickets. Screw Woody. Screw him. Don't renew the season tickets. Let that stadium be filled with the opposing team's fans next year. Do not renew the damn season tickets. Save your thousands and thousands of dollars and invest it in something else. Don't renew the season tickets. Woody doesn't deserve it. He's an absolute criminal. I've been saying this to you, Jake, for years now. He's a criminal. And Woody Johnson is a criminal. He should not be owning the Jets. He should be in prison. He's a horrible individual, and we should not be investing in his team. I've been to one Jet game in the last 10 years. It was this year because I had free tickets to a suite, and I got absolutely obliterated watching the Jets get killed to the Dallas Cowboys in week 5, I believe it was. Do not renew the season tickets. Screw him and screw his brother who gave us Gase. That's all.
Yeah, his brother gave us Gase and Woody gave us Glenn, and they're both now synonymous in 14 losses or more in Jet history.
Do not renew the season tickets. Please put your money where your mouth is. Make this SOB feel it. Fear us. The Jet fans are as passionate as anyone. Fear us. We need to hurt his bottom line. And whether it happens or not, who knows? Do not renew these season tickets for this god-awful organization. Rex Ryan for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan starting us off. Hey, don't let go of that rope,
Just
Dan.
don't let go of the rope.
I can't argue with anything you said. I will never tell Jet fans how to fan, but I don't know how anyone could renew their season tickets and actually sit there, let them take your money and increase the prices of your tickets after this year. 3-14. Again, and the ticket sales, it's a minor part of how the NFL teams, the Jets, actually make their money, but it sends a message that you're disgusted when the stadium is half empty or when they play the Patriots late in the year. It's 35,000 Pats fans versus 5,000 Jet fans. And the Jets are booed in pregame. Again, this fan base has been through a lot. I don't know how much more many can take. Joe is up next. Hey, Joe. A lot.
Hey, Jake, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jake, sorry. You hear me?
Got you, Joe. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been listening to you, man. And, Mike Tannenbaum, this morning, I really thought Samini was going to have you back when you were going at Tannenbaum, but you really didn't.
Yeah, but guess what? Did Rich answer the question, what does Aaron Glenn do well, Joe?
I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that want to come here, but I understand what you're saying, that other people would want the job. But here's the thing, I'd rather just I don't think Harbaugh and Tomlin are going to be out at the end of the year. I just think the Jets maybe should just wait another year and look for a head coach then. They'll have another high pick. They'll have all their draft picks. They'll still have cap room. They'll have a built offensive line.
Yeah, but Joe, I can't listen to that. They're going to take a quarterback second overall. Why are we forcing that next head coach to have to take a quarterback or have to work with a quarterback that was picked second? Do it now. This is the best time to do it. You got the clean reset. Joke. Let's just keep waiting. Keep throwing away another year. We act like this is rocket science. It takes forever. This great rebuild. Oh, the Jets were better than New England last year. They had Drake May a year ago. The Jets were better than Jacksonville last year. They had Trevor Lawrence. The Texans were worse than the Jets until they got the D'Amico Ryans and took Stroud. They pair them up together. It's coach quarterback. We could do the same thing right now. We already know the coach is not any good. Don't let him ruin the quarterback. We saw this with Sam Darnold. Don't make the same mistake, for the love of God. Jack's Jet Rich is next. What's up, Rich?
Hey, Jake. This was a joke today, dude. I mean,
the whole season was a joke.
Oh, agreed. But I mean, we got too many men on the field for offense
the
first quarter.
The Glenn way, baby. Discipline. Penalties
serious?
are down. Never forget. Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, can we just Woody? We got blown out by backups. Just get rid of him. Can we go after Stefanski since everything's saying he's getting let go? Come on. It's terrible, man.
And I don't even know if Stefanski's a great coach. I do know that he went to the playoffs twice in Cleveland and happens to be an offensive guy. So I'd feel better with him picking the quarterback than Aaron Glenn. Like, that's honestly, my bar is so low right now because I'm so downtrodden. Again, I'm not championing him. I'm not sitting here telling you Mike McCarthy's is great, but like, they need someone who's not this clueless. He's inept. We know what we're watching. We don't need to pretend.
Yeah. Like, we got all these resources. Like, to your point, like, why would someone want to come here next year after we draft a quarterback, use 5 picks in the first 2 rounds in this draft, spent cap space? Yeah, who wants to come to that after that? Like, right now, you got what, $120 million plus, 8 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 seasons. That's a lot more attractive than what it'll be next year. Like, just find the right guy. But, hey, next year we'll see what it ends. But no, appreciate the time, Jake.
Yeah, look, I would love to sit here and be wrong, and next year's going to be better. We all know what's coming. We don't need to pretend. We all get all excited in the offseason and believe again. I'm not falling for it. I'm not. We know how this works. We've seen this. We've lived this. We've all you're not being honest with yourself if you think this magically gets better by just adding talent. It's not just a talent issue or a quarterback issue. It's so much more than that. More calls right now. We need to hear from our king.
Jake, my brother. Won't even ask you how you doing, brother.
King,
I waited,
bro.
Hey, man, I love you too, man. Hey, man, I waited to the end of the season till this atrocity was over. And, I wanted to just reiterate, man, how in the beginning of the season, when I told y'all what we had at quarterback, when I told y'all what we had at head coach, okay, this guy coming in here with all this bravado. Now you can barely hear a whisper from this guy when he answers questions. Okay? I told y'all at the beginning of the season, okay, we have a game manager that can run the ball. Okay? This cat, Aaron Glenn, has to go. I told y'all that when we was 0-3. I knew what was coming. Okay? And I just let it play out. Because everybody who came on here giving some type of optimism to this guy, giving some type of hope for this guy to turn it the hell around. Y'all see now what the hell me and Jake been talking about since the fucking beginning of the season. Okay? This is what we're saying. You have to get somebody in here that has experience. Okay? He cannot coach. He can't do it. It's not rocket science, people. When you have a guy that is a leader of men, it shows. Okay? It shows. At the end of the day, we all knew this guy was a first-time head coach. We knew our team was ass. It was ass. From 14 years. 14 years. Now we going into 15 years, no playoffs. We knew what the hell our team was. And you sit up there and hire a first-time head coach, knowing that we needed somebody in here with freaking experience. Yeah, you cannot bring this guy back. You can't do it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be some of the same bull, the same undisciplined bull I've been preaching since I've been on this channel. I say every year, every damn year, I say, get the undisciplined bullshit out the door. But no, I took a step back, see how it was playing out. This is it's the beginning of the year, and we need new blood. We need to get his ass the hell out of here, man. See, I agree with the first caller. Season ticket holders, do not freaking renew. Don't do it. It's ass backwards to renew. Because at the end of the day, you're going to sit up there with other fan bases around you. In your section, it's going to be other teams that's going to be invading the damn. And at the end of the day, damn it, why the hell we don't have our own stadium? For dog, we seen the damn Giants win Super Bowl after Super Bowl in that damn place, and we don't have nothing for our freaking own. It's an atrocity, man. At the end of the day, you gotta get that damn cat out of here. Get him the hell out. Glenn has to go. And at the end of the day, man, I love all of the chat. Shout out to the ass maniacs. I'm sorry for my actions, but this is it can't be tolerated. It cannot be freaking tolerated. Just that shit.
Love you, King Lowski. God, this fan base is the best, and we get nothing. Liz in the raffle for one. For those who tuned in late, we have a signed Rex Ryan helmet up for grabs at the end of the show. Tyrone Garcia in the raffle for two. Wow, we suck. We can't even lose with some dignity. Glenn should go, and we need to start over. Well, we have the number 2 pick. It's best time to do it. Dan says, I've seen enough of Glenn. Get rid of him. Boomtown felt like Josh Allen never came out of the game. Oh, you mean the immortal Mitch Trubisky? It was not Josh Allen today? Could have fooled me. 259 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Second career game with 4 passing touchdowns. 13 of 15 for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns on play action. The Jets allowed 21 passing touchdowns on play action, most by any team in the last 20 years. They don't just suck. We've seen bad Jet teams. My point again and again and again is that this is not normal. This is a different level of ineptitude. And if we bring this coach back, it will not improve. I don't care how many draft picks they have. I don't care about the cap space. The next coach, after they fire Glenn, who's going to go 4-13 or 5-12 in 2026, they maybe could benefit if those picks are any good. I mean, the Jets are set up, man. 2, 15, 33, and 44 right now. $100 million in cap space. Get a coach. You could turn it around. You could be the Texans or the Commanders when they got their quarterback. You could be what the Jags are this year, what the Patriots are. You could be these teams. Denver, it doesn't take this many years. We can lead next year with the arrow pointed up, even if they don't make the playoffs. If the quarterback is developing and looks like he could be the guy, like, give us something, man. You got 3 1s in 2027. You don't need to trade anything now to get the quarterback at 2. Whether it's Moore or Mendoza, it's a crapshoot anyway. It doesn't matter. Neither will be successful with this coaching staff. You got a chance to actually do it right, Woody. Don't make the mistake that this franchise continues to make. Don't do it. Aaron says, did you see the brand of football, the drive we scored 8 points? That's what I want to see, Jake. Good offensive drive. Shake my head. Fire Glenn. I'm sure Glenn in the exit meetings tomorrow will show that drive to the team. This is our brand, folks. Brady Cook throwing the ball to Andrew Beck. Give me a hug, Woody.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
It's disgusting, man. And I'm going to let it all out today. I'm going to vent this week. And if they bring him back, I will hope he proves me wrong, and we will root for his success. But I have no confidence, and neither should any Jet fan. When he tells you to have faith in him, based on what? You have no idea what you're doing. Brian says, I texted my cousin when we were down 35, nothing at the end of the third, and said Aaron Glenn's safe. After this, he replied, they're about to play his brand of football. God. It's just, we're a laughing stock. By the way, here's the division stat. I looked it up. The Jets have been outscored by 20.3 points per game in division games. Second worst in current divisional format behind the 2009 Rams. Think about that. This is since 2002, since division realignment. The people remember the 2009 Rams? I do. Their head coach was Steve Spagnuolo. You know what their record was? 1-15. Again, folks, the Jets might have 3 wins if they didn't have an excellent special teams unit. They might have one win right now. They won a game against the Browns where they had a punt and kick return touchdown in the same quarter. If that didn't happen, they don't win that game. They beat the Falcons because their punt returner muffed a punt at the 2-yard line, and Brees got a cheap touchdown on the next play when the Jets took over. All the numbers tell me we're watching one of the worst goddamn teams that has ever been assembled. My eyes tell me that. This is worse than the Gase team of 2020. It is. That team had no talent. This team has players. We act like the Jets there's just no good players on this team. It's not true. Why do people say that? It's not true. No one's saying they're a great team. Their win total was 6.5 on FanDuel. It wasn't 2, wasn't 3. Hey, but you know what? No field goals blocked. That's what it's all about. Hit it. We're going to get to more of your calls coming up. Let me just catch up on the super chats here. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button. We have 500 likes almost. 1,400 watching live. Smash the like button. It helps the show grow. Hey, Jake Brightside, we hired a record-setting head coach. Yeah, there's a positive. Don't let go of the rope. Nicholas says, Glenn Truthers have to be young people. At 48, I don't want to wait 4 more years to have a decent team. Glenn is lost as a head coach. Well, we're going to wait till at least 2027 at the earliest, unfortunately. Fire Aaron Glenn says, I think I'm owed an apology. Hey, you were on this from the beginning, Fire Aaron Glenn. I do owe you an apology. All right, I thought you were a little premature when you sent in your first super chat when Aaron Glenn was at the podium being introduced a year ago. But you know what? You were right. I got to own that. I will take the L. I was wrong, and I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong.
Don't let go of the rope. Don't let go of the rope.
It pains me. It's not fun to talk about, but I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I ask people what this head coach does well, and no one could come up with a goddamn thing. If you say special teams, then guess what? We could fire Glenn and keep Banjo, like good teams do with their special teams coordinator. You know, like when Mike Westhoff survived Herm Edwards, Eric Mangini, and Rex Ryan. You know, when Brent Boyer survived Todd Bowles, Adam Gase, and Robert Saleh. You know, like Jeremy Springer survived Gerard Mayo. Yeah. That's allowed. You can retain your special teams coordinator. Remember, though, Aaron Glenn is going to clean everything up. It's coaching, man. It's coaching. Justin Fields never been coached up properly. Let's give him $30 million for 9 games, then bench his ass. Jay Long, I've been watching the Jets for 38 years. 20 of them are over by Halloween. The cycle repeats. There's no rock bottom. They make football suck. I know. It kills me, man. K&D says, so effing glad this bleep is over. Now to drown my sorrows in Henny and watch Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Touchdown Ravens. They scored the game's opening touchdown. I have the game on in front of me. Green Empire says, Mitch Trubisky looked like prime Mahomes. Every quarterback will look good against the Jets. Their defense sucks, and they quit on their coach because they know the coaching's an embarrassment. How about that buffoon, Chris Harris, laughing this week when they asked him about the interception thing? He's like, yeah, it's just one of those things. I've never seen anything like it. Should be embarrassed, dude. Should be embarrassed by that. That record will never, ever be broken. No team will ever go 17 games without an INT again. All right, that is the safest record in all sports. It really is. That is the safest record in sports. It will never, ever be matched. No one will come close to that. They could play football until you name the year 30-37. It doesn't matter. All right? That record is safer than Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak. That record is safer than Wayne Gretzky's point streak, Wilt Chamberlain 100 points in a game, Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. It is a record that will never, ever, ever be broken. Embarrassing, man. This fan base deserves so much better than the bullshit we're fed by the coach afterwards. Have faith. You're giving us no reason to have any faith. Matt says, Jake, you're the gold standard of Jets podcasting, radio, TV. Unfortunately, the team doesn't deserve your coverage. We should move on from Glenn, but won't. It's depressing, Matt, and I know you're a season ticket holder. I think you already told me you canceled your ticket. So, again, I don't know why anyone would renew. I'm not going to tell anyone how to fan. If you want to go, go. But I recommend you just buy tickets on StubHub or SeatGeek. It will be way cheaper. You're wasting money. What perks do you get? They raise prices and spit in your face. Oh, you get face value for a home playoff game? Oh, there only hasn't been one since 2002. Jetstream in the raffle for 5. I don't know how they could stick with Glenn. He's on the sideline screaming at coaches he brought in. This coaching staff does not know how to game plan. Of course they don't know how to game plan. Have you seen the Jets in the first half of games this year? That's when you know you're a poorly coached team, right? We killed Salah for that, right? Oh, the Jets, they come out flat. They're never prepared. This team's the worst I've ever seen. Look at the halftime deficits in these games here. We could add the Buffalo in there, but who cares? And this is when the Jets were trying to win, by the way. Not tanking, Jake. They're tanking. Oh, I'm a moron, so I'm just going to try and excuse this ineptitude because I'm a fanboy, so I'll just say it's tanking. It's all fine. This is totally normal. Nothing to see here. When they were trying to win, down 20-6 against Tampa, down 23-3 against Dallas, first game against the Bills, week 2, first division game. Right, Aaron Glenn, an opportunity at home after you had a tough loss to Pittsburgh, but moral victory, you played well. Here we go. Down 20-3. Trailed 20-0 with 8:50 in the second quarter. The game was cooked. Miami on Monday night, down 24-7. Or excuse me, this was the most recent Miami game when we were feeling good, right? They won 3 of 5. Oh, they're playing hard for Glenn. 21-0. Down with 3:39 to go in the first quarter. 24-7 at halftime in that game. 21-7 against the Jags. 12-14-0, 6 minutes into that one. 35-3 last week to New England. 42-3 at the end of the third quarter. They took Drake May out with 5 minutes to go in that game. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Drake May, and what? Back-to-back weeks pretty much, or 2 of the last 3 weeks, they could have set the NFL record for touchdowns thrown in the game if they were allowed to finish the game. That's the standard Aaron Glenn is setting. We're not the same old Jets. You're right. You're fucking worse. You're an embarrassment. And why is it that I care and this fan base cares more than the owner? Williams is Woody embarrassed. He should be. Medic says, so who are we going to get to coach this team? Quite frankly, when I hear this bullshit, it drives me nuts. You don't just retain a coach because, who would coach this team? If Woody fires Glenn, I'd start with an experienced offensive-minded coach. McCarthy, Kingsbury. Those guys make some sense. I'd check in on Stefanski if he's fired, right? 2-time coach of the year. At least he's an offensive guy. I know we're not going to get the state-of-the-art best candidate. I get that. But if there was ever a time to try, it's now when you have 5 ones in cap space over the next 2 years. At least we could head in the right direction. All right, if you go the first-time head coaching route, offense, Kubiak, McCown, Brady, someone would take this job. I promise you, someone would take this job. We don't need to pretend like, who would want this job? Stop. People are like, what'd you expect this year, Jake? Not this. Not to be one of the worst teams ever. If they showed real improvement, if I felt like we had real coaching and there was a real plan, I'd understand, hey, I didn't expect the playoffs this year. I had them winning 6 games. 4 initially, and then I believed the con artist that is Aaron Glenn, what he was selling us all summer. Should have trusted my gut. That still wouldn't have been right. Jack says, if we keep Glenn, that's basically asking a defensive coach who can't even coach defense to pick our next quarterback and lead our offense. Shake my head, disgrace. Oh, that's exactly what it is. Get ready. Hexon says, to the people saying they would still have to pay him, they'd be paying him whether they fire him halfway through next season or the end of next season. Amen, Hexon. I'm glad you brought this up. I said this on the show before. I don't know if I'd said it tonight. My head is spinning right now. The idea that everyone just agrees, well, they're just going to fire him after next year. Right, so they can't fire him now because of money. But if we wait one more year, instead of owing Glenn $40 million, right, because he reportedly signed a $10 million a year contract over 5, so $50 million, right? We can't fire him now because we don't owe him $40 million. But we could fire him a year from now when we only owe him $30 million. How does that make any sense? They just gave $30 million to Justin Fields for 9 games. Who gives a flying F? It doesn't count against the cap. Google Woody Johnson's net worth. Google the price he just paid for a soccer team. Crystal Palace, $254 million. He has money. All right, he wipes his ass with $50 million he'd owe Glenn. $40 million, whatever it is, who cares? Hilton Head, thank you, in the raffle for 1. Christopher, in the raffle for 1. Coach James, this was horrible, and I'm embarrassed as a Jet fan. If they don't fire Aaron, I'm already depressed for next year. No matter how good the draft is, I pray I'm wrong. 98% chance, just as bad. Joke. CeeLo's in the raffle for 1, in the raffle for 2. Thank you. Sears says Glenn's contract guarantees are minor compared to the financial loss for a disengaged fan base. There's never been a more justified one and done. As someone who has experience discussing one and done coaches, I was in Houston for back-to-back of David Culley and Lovie Smith. I used to do afternoon drive in Houston on ESPN Houston from 3 to 7. I know what this looks like. Aaron Glenn is every bit as bad as David Culley. Go Google a David Culley press conference. When you get done watching my postgame, go watch a David Culley press conference. See who he reminds you of with his dumbass catchphrases. Carlos says, during your session with Mike T, it was so disappointing to hear no apology for his role of pushing the Jets to hire AG via the so-called 33rd team. If Woody keeps AG, Mike T and that group are accountable. Hey, if you guys want to watch me go at it with Tannenbaum today on our radio show together, I posted the segment. All right, he made up every excuse in the book for Aaron Glenn. Well, Bill Parcells was bad his first year too. Great, so let's bet on outliers. We got into it. Everything I say on this show, I said right to the guy who recommended Aaron Glenn to his face. Do not ever tell me that I do not hold people accountable. And Mike can say whatever he wants. He knows Glenn. He has a right to his opinion. Tough spot for him, but I got to be honest. All right, this coach is a disaster. We don't need to pretend. They started 0-7. I'm more upset about that, by the way, than even the last 5 games, which are a joke. I don't care if you're tanking. It should never look like this. But again, people are like, oh, what did you expect? Look who's playing court. They started 0-7. He didn't know how long the game-winning field goal was at the end of the game in London. Do you remember when he said the last 4 minutes of each half belonged to the head coach? He lost us that game. His decision-making. He has no feel for quarterbacks. Why didn't he bench Fields at halftime of the London game? Carlos says, do you think for some reason the Raiders will not select Mendoza? I think it's possible, Carlos. We just assume Mendoza's going 1? Based on what? We assume Sam Darnold was going to Cleveland too. We have no idea. When these coaches start evaluating the players, they meet with them at the combine, they have pre-draft workouts, people's opinions change. What if Dante Moore balls out against Indiana and Oregon wins in the playoff game? There's so many things that can happen. I don't care who they end up with. I'm not focused on that. If they take Moore or Mendoza, I will gladly support whoever they take and hope that they're awesome. I want them to have a chance to be awesome. They have no chance if the great Charles London is the quarterback coach or Tanner Engstrand is sticking around. Like, he's done nothing. Go get a real OC. But again, if you're going to fire Engstrand and you already fired Wilkes, what does Aaron Glenn actually do? What does he do? He can't hire good coaches. He's proven that. He hired Banjo. Great. He was recommended by Mike Westhoff. So we can give Glenn credit for that. But again, special teams does not win you games. It can help, but they won 3 games with one of the best special teams unit we've ever seen the Jets have. It didn't matter. And again, Glenn learned from Parcells. Now, Glenn's a Kotite disciple until proven otherwise. He learned from the great Rich Kotite. Carlos wants to know, would it be wise to give the Raiders picks in order to get number 1? I mean, if they only love one of the quarterbacks and the Raiders are willing to listen, I wouldn't, though, honestly. I got to see who the coach is. Who's the offensive coordinator? Do I have conviction that they know what they're doing? Long way to go. I can't answer that right now. Frankie says, AG ruined his legacy. To me, he's Hugh Jackson and Cleveland bad. I'm confident in the GM over everything. He can't develop Dante Moore. Tanner got to go. AP says, Jets social media posted special teams play that made in the video. The score is 21-0. I saw that, right? The great punt by McNamara and Arian Smith made the play at the goal line to down the ball. That was the highlight from today's game. To the great Brady Cook to Andrew Beck touchdown. But let's be real. The best player of the game today was this. Like, you will not find offensive creativity quite like this on a 4th and 1. This is what Jet football is all about. That play and field goal protection. I love it, man. Field goal protection champions. You know how pathetic that is? Like, if you're Aaron Glenn, you're citing field goal protection as a positive. That is so embarrassing. Why do I care? Why does this fan base care more than the owner? Like, if I employed Aaron Glenn, right, if I owned the team and that was the positive, he'd be gone immediately after that answer. Why should I trust you, Aaron? You got a plan? One of your positives from a nightmare year is field goal protection. Kyle says, the season was BS. I'm going to bed. Fire Glenn. Throw all your J&J baby powder. Your balls will stink, but not worse than this team. Jesse writes in, You can't let him ruin the QB. Hire Brady, Kubiak, any offensive mind to mold the quarterback. If they keep Glenn, I pray Moore doesn't declare. I mean, again, let's say Moore doesn't declare, right? What's the plan then? Because they're going to have to try and win games. Kyler Murray? Malik Willis? And again, if any quarterback has options, why are they choosing the Jets with Aaron Glenn? Like, if you're Malik Willis, you're finally going to get a chance to be a starter. You go to the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel if they retain him. You go to another team with a proven offensive coach or a proven infrastructure. Rodgers retires. You go to Pittsburgh. Right? Like, you go to Cleveland if they decide to move on from Shador and they're not going to be in range. Like, you wouldn't go to the Jets. You just wouldn't. Unless you grossly overpay. But again, that's what happens when you get Justin Fields for $30 million. That's how that happens. You promise him a starting job. It's all love in the raffle for one. Thank you. Fighter Jet says, the first thing I better see tomorrow morning when I wake up is that Glenn's fired. I've had it. Next year will be no different, so fire him now, Woody. I completely agree. And I hope I'm wrong. Again, I know people are like, you're so negative. I'm real, man. I'm calling it how it is. Anyone who's watched the show for longer than this season knows I am typically one of the more positive Jet fans that does a daily show. I have picked the Jets the last 2 years to win 12-plus games and win the AFC East. Even when they fired Saleh, I didn't love it, but I was like, you know what? Let's rally around Ulbrich. Maybe Saleh really is that bad. Maybe the people are telling me he stinks are right. Right? Like, I typically try to be all in and be positive because I much rather be positive than negative. But I am disgusted with this year and will not sit here and pretend like anything we saw this year is all part of a master plan by a head coach who doesn't have a damn clue. Matt says, Jake, the only good thing about this season was me joining the Asmaniacs. I became a more knowledgeable football fan. Ownership and head coach have let Jet Nation down. Thanks for being our voice. Matt, I appreciate you more than you know, my friend. Thank you very much. Jetstream in the house. Remember when Mike T said, Jake, field goal blocks are on the rise at an alarming rate? Yeah, I do. Joke. Field goal protection champions. Again, what coach has ever said that as a positive? And by the way, they're one of only 11 teams that hasn't allowed a field goal block. It's not like this is like a unique thing. They're the only team in the league. Like, I still think it'd be ridiculous to highlight that as a positive when you're going to be 3-14. But at least it's like, oh, the Jets are the only team that's done that. Okay, like, props to Banjo and Nick Folk for that, right? Like, cool. They're one of 11 teams. That's a third of the league that also has done the same thing. Who gives a flying F? Field goal protection. Carlos in the house. I and so many, if not all, Jet fans believe Glenn's a terrible coach. Exception, Rich C, Mike T, Woody J. That's the problem. Kevin says, shout out to the 33rd team. Ray Lux. Jets will find a way to invent negative picks. Bino, Mike T on the radio was complete clown. Watch the segment for those who haven't seen it. Gave you guys 48 minutes of Mike Tannenbaum and I arguing about Glenn. Carlos says, again, why bring Glenn back? Are you suggesting we'll need to wait until 6 games into the year before considering his dismissal, assuming they'll all be losses? Come on, man. That's exactly what I'm telling you, right? Because if they bring him back and get off to another abysmal start, the Jets are the Titans this year. That's what I'm trying to say. If everyone acknowledges he needs to now win games next year, we know he won't. That's the whole point. Get out in front of it now so we can have a season next year. So at least if they're losing, but we're seeing development from our rookie quarterback, I could be positive and say we got 3 wins and 27. Now we build the roster. Boom. Year 2, we're ready to win. Like Sean Payton was with Bo Nix in his rookie year, but Payton's second year in Denver. Ryan says, only way to keep Glenn's the trade attitude, collect more premium draft picks, and select a quarterback next year with an entirely new regime. The problem is, though, he knows he needs to win to save his job, and Woody knows that no fans are going to show up. So he's going to do everything in his power, I think, to try and get one of these quarterbacks, for better or worse. That's why I'm dying for them to get a real coach before we do that. But they won't. It's the Jets. This is what they do. And we're stuck. We're just stuck watching it. Jet up, our second pick for Stafford and the Falcons pick. You really want to give Aaron Glenn, Matthew Stafford, he's going to be 38 next year. No way. Brian says, Jake, miss you at the Houston bar. Shout out to you, Brian. Shout out to the Houston Jet fan club. Anyone in Houston that needs a place to watch the Jets, that's the place to be. This is my first year here. Didn't bother to get Sunday ticket. That says it all. NY Jets morale has never been lower. Have zero faith in Woody to act here. RIP next quarterback. Isn't that sad? Like if I was advising Dante Moore, I'd say, don't do it, dude. And I love the Jets. I'd say, man, I get it. Like, honestly, if Dante Moore stays in school, I don't blame him. I get it. I do. You want Aaron Glenn to be coaching you up? NY and Atlanta in the raffle for 1. Carlos, again, in the raffle for another 2 here. Home stretch of Super Chats and right to your calls. Thanks to everyone, I should say, for being patient. Again, enter the raffle. Rex Ryan signed helmet is the prize. I'll send it to you tomorrow if you win. Also, Tuesdays are a weekly raffle. I should mention the prizes. I haven't yet. We have a signed Klecko jersey on the show we're giving away. Signed Revis jersey. Signed Don Maynard football. If you enter the raffle by sending in a $10 Super Chat or higher, you're in for 2. 20 is 5. 50 is 10. 100 is 20. For every membership you gift, that's how many you're in for. Let's see. Jack says, AG got the interview by telling Woody how we'll be strong, tough, and disciplined. If as Maniacs interviewed AG, we would have asked X's and O's questions. Not have Robbie Sabo do the interview because he's been on this for 3 years. That, again, the Salah types, Glenn, that's not where the NFL is going. You need strategists. You need smart, innovative coaches, specifically the offensive coach, because they have longevity. You don't have to worry about your OC being poached if you have too much success. Right? But finally, Todd Bowles didn't win this year in Tampa. Why? Well, the Baker Mayfield offense was on their 3rd offensive coordinator in 3 years. That's hard to do, right? Oh, Mike Vrabel eventually didn't win in Tennessee. Why? Well, think about it. Matt LaFleur left to become a head coach. Arthur Smith left to become a head coach. It's hard to constantly replace your offensive coordinators. So if you're going to be successful, you rather an offensive coach so that guy can continue to be the play caller. Look at Dan Campbell and the Lions. They weren't the same team without Ben Johnson. We could be honest. Sam says, I think you're overlooking some records. DVOA 30th in points against 28 in points for. What can be salvaged? I'll tell you, Sam, they have not allowed a blocked kick all year. I mean, there's your positives. Also, I love when we bring up, the running game. Have the other than maybe week 1, when have the Jets had this great running game that we're proud of? They dictate, the time of possession, ground and pound. Like, I'm supposed to be impressed that Breece Hall at 1,000 yards. That's like 66 yards per game on the ground. They're getting their teeth kicked in most of these games. Again, they ran the ball well against Jacksonville, Glenn said, right? The touchdown drive he referred to in that embarrassing clip I shared on the show. They were down 40-13 when they had that, I think it was like a 10 or 11 play drive, whatever it was. That ended with the Isaiah Davis rushing touchdown. Like, that was the most embarrassing answer I've ever heard. I still can't believe he said that. He's showing film of that game to the team. Joke. Pork in the Morning is up next. Let's get back to your calls and Super Chats right after. Hello, Pork.
Hey, Jake. A terrible ending to a terrible season. And I don't want to be sitting here the same time at the end of next season doing the same thing, complaining about this coach. He's got to go. I mean, there's no way around it. They've gotten worse and worse every single week. And, look at Raheem Morris just got fired, right? He got fired because he lost to the Jets. If he beats us, he's in the playoffs.
Yeah. You're right.
That guy's out a job, but somehow AG still got a job. Bum. He's terrible. There's every time I look at him, he looks clueless. And the way he was talking today, like he was begging for his job. Like, oh, I need a week to think about things. You need a week? You ain't been thinking about things all year? Damn, man. You need a week to think about things. Shit. The whole world's been watching you, man, and you're terrible. I mean, that little clip that you put up with all those teams, the 05 Niners, the 91 Colts, some of those teams won 1 game or 0 games.
And that's what this team was if they didn't have an outlier elite unit, right? Like, most of the teams that are this bad don't actually have an elite unit. The Jets special teams, because of Nick Folk and Chris Banjo, they were elite. So that won them a couple games. They probably should have finished with 1 win this year and been right there with the 08 Lions, with the 09 Rams who won a game, the 02 expansion Texans who won 2 games, the Colts. Like, that's what we watched this year, people. Like, they suck. Yep. Well said.
Yeah, worst of all time. In 100 years of the NFL, this is bad. Like, go home and quit. Do something else. Sell popsicles. I don't give a shit. But do something else, because football ain't your thing anymore. I mean, it's just, I'm sick.
Hey, you got to trust him though, man. He's got a plan.
No, I'm not trusting anybody. No, on this regime, we're going to trust him. He just served us, a rotten pork. That's what we got. Imagine if I invited you over some roast pork and you got something rotten. You know what I mean? We've been getting rotten food every week from this guy. It's always stinking. He always has some vomit at the end of the game to throw at us. He didn't throw that out this week, did he? Puffing his chest up all the time. He wasn't puffed up today. His eyes were all welled up.
He looked like he was going to cry.
He should have cried. He's crying right now. He's shaking right now, begging for his job somewhere.
The fact that he has a job still is embarrassing. Raheem Morris is going to get fired. His team ended the year winning 4 straight games. Like, they actually played for him down the stretch. He never lost the team.
No, they played well.
They finished 8-9, and he's gone. And now Aaron Glenn gets to survive. I mean, so many coaches have been fired for way less than what Aaron Glenn put together this year.
Pete Carroll won a game.
Yep. And Pete Carroll's team played hard. Pete Carroll's team was playing hard at the end of the year. They were playing for nothing, too. They were tanking. Yeah. Where are the people saying the Jets are tanking, Jake? What do you expect?
They won a game at the end of the year. Oh, the only team maybe as bad as us is Arizona, and they were actually putting up points in their game, scoring points. We scored 8. We scored at the end of the game. Wow, in garbage time. And we still couldn't stop them. Anytime a running back ran for their team, they ran for 10 yards. What did they do? They had to end up with more than 200 yards rushing.
Oh, I'm sure they did. And the best was, what's his name had a performance bonus. Ty Johnson, if he found the end zone. Yeah. So they're like, of course we're going to get him his touchdowns. The Jets are a joke. We'll get all our guys their player performance bonuses. Why not? They're a laughing stock.
It was their last game of the season. I'm glad we didn't have to play the Chiefs this year because they would have Taylor Swift come in, have Travis Kelce have 3 touchdowns.
Oh, get ready next year. Mahomes' first game back, you could bet will be scheduled against the Jets in week 1. 100%. I already know how this goes.
Oh, no. Well, maybe Kelce will, wait to retire till that game so he could go out with a crown on his helmet, a couple touchdowns to boot. This is disgusting. All right, guys, I'm out.
Pork, love you, bro. More of your calls coming up. Let me get caught up on some super chats here. I think I missed this one earlier from you know what? Maybe I am all caught up here. All right, I'm gonna get back to your calls shortly here. Bayway says, Jake, I appreciate you made the title for this before the game. I had the thumbnail and title for this post game you guys are watching. I made it last night. And there were a couple of you who noticed and commented before the show today. Someone said, they're going to win now. You're going to jinx it. You really think I could jinx this team? I can't jinx the Aaron Glenn Jets. There's no chance. I knew the outcome. I'm uncomfortable even sharing this because I don't bet normally this much. I bet $300 on Bills -7. I never bet that much. That's how confident I was the Jets were going to get their shit kicked in. I didn't care if it was Allen or Trubisky. It didn't matter. The line was all over the place. I bet it a couple days ago. I think it got up to 12.5 at kickoff. This team's a joke. Woody Johnson doesn't know that apparently, but we all do. Brian said, you know what, Brian, I read your super chat. Let me get to NY in Atlanta. You're in the raffle for 1. Carlos says, let's all chip in and buy an add-on for those highway signs by MetLife that say Fire AG, Fire AG, Fire AG. All right. I just don't think that will do anything at this point if they're going to retain him. If today was not enough for Woody to rethink things, I don't know what to tell you. Bino says, Victor Green said this is the worst football he's seen on both sides of the ball this year, and that's a former Glenn teammate. You can't defend this. It's undefendable. Chris says, never been more embarrassed of this franchise. How can we have this coach develop a quarterback? Go Knicks. It's embarrassing. Knicks got to figure it out too right now. Their defense is trash, but it's January, so I'm not going to worry. They need Hart back. Stone Cold says, Jake, love fireman at take this week. We need an owner that's obsessed with the team, obsessed with winning. Do you think he was even at the game today? F Woody, this franchise has no chance. I'm not sure if Woody was at the game. Ralph in the raffle here, $5 super chat. What veteran would you pair with more next year? You know, actually, sorry, we're doing only 10 and above. I misspoke there. What veteran would you pair with Dante Moore next year if they take him? I don't know. I got nothing. Maybe You could sell me on, I know Dylan Terraman likes Kyler. Like if he was playing for the minimum, maybe. I don't know. I need someone that could be basically an extension of a coach in that room. I'd bring Tyrod back and I'd sign Cousins if he's cut or Marcus Mariota, someone like that. All right, I need like Tyrod's job is to basically do what McCown did for Sam in 2018. You're the quarterback coach for Dante Moore. They need to give this kid coaching. Like the Giants had Winston and Russ, and then they made the move for Dart. We need to not put this kid in a spot where he has to play before he's ready. Don't ruin him. Colin in the raffle for 5. Thank you, Colin. This is for you. Chris says, we're effed 40 years of loyalty. Taps any button. Man said to have faith. Faith in what? I sit in purgatory wondering when our team will ever get to the Super Bowl and win one. We need a new coach bad. Like, I can't, like, I hate to say it. I've almost given up on, like, the idea of the Jets winning a Super Bowl. I would just like to have a year where we're not eliminated before September, right? Some years we make it to Columbus Days. You know, if you really think about it, Robert Saleh was not a good head coach. The Jets in his second year started 6-3. They were 7-4 before they collapsed after Mike White got hurt in the Bills game that year. Is Aaron Glenn ever going to get the Jets 3 games above 500 in his tenure? Like, again, Saleh was not a good head coach. I'm not saying he is, but, like, at least for his warts, that second year, they were humming, right? Like, they obviously screwed it up with Zach Wilson. We know that. But if Mike White didn't break his ribs, they make the playoffs that year. I don't think we're ever going to even come close to that with Glenn. I think we're going to go in the next year, probably start 1-5. Woody will be pissed at that point. I'll fire him. We'll have an intern for the rest of the year, much like the Titans this year. And then we'll do the search in 2027. A year from now, we'll be coming up with our list of candidates. The only question will be, does Darren Muji stick around? Has he distinguished himself enough where he's earned an opportunity to be a part of the next coaching search? Or is he out too? That's it. You could say I'm too negative, but again, when I said the Jets were going to win 4 games this year, you guys called me negative then. I would give him too much credit. I've been right. This head coach is a phony. I don't like being right. I'd rather be wrong. I'm a Jet fan. My channel does way better when they don't suck. That time they were 7-4 was the most views we ever had in the season. The pursuit of Aaron Rodgers, that was the best it ever was for this channel. And for all your favorite content creators. Ask them. They'll tell you the same thing. We all make more money, get more views, have more fun when the team is not dog crap. I don't enjoy dogging on Aaron Glenn, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's a good coach or has a plan. He's given you no reason to think that. And the Jets need to earn the benefit of the doubt. All right, they haven't won more than 7 games in 10 years. Forget the playoff drought. How about a winning season? Since 2011, they've had one of them. It was 10 years ago. Since the 15 year with Fitzpatrick, they won 7 games, and that's it. Joke. Pork says the only thing positive this moment is our draft capital. This is Tank for Ty, actually. Those aren't even guaranteed. Glenn got to go. We all need our resources to offensive brain power. Amen. Rico says, this team will always be bad as long as Woody Johnson owns the team. Worst season I have seen. Disgusting. Jay Petito says, since interceptions became an official stat in 1933, the Jets are the first team to finish a full season without recording a single INT. Aaron Glenn in his playing career had 40-plus interceptions. But some of you will act like this is normal, Jake. They're tanking. It's all part of the plan. There's nothing normal about this season. Nothing. Leany says, I usually have a lot to say, but I'm speechless. Right now, I have no faith in Glenn going into next season. Hey, Leany, look, I'll tell you, don't let go of that rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
That's it. Don't let go. Here's our genius head coach describing what our brand is in a game the Jets lost 48-20.
Talk about your brand and stuff like that. How often have you seen it, and how do you, I don't know, how do you get it to be seen more consistently?
Yeah, well, there was we were playing Jacksonville, and I showed the team this. And if you guys go and watch the way that we ran the ball against Jacksonville, I thought it was very, very impressive on us controlling the line of scrimmage, us running the ball, being physical, being violent. It was actually after the third quarter. It was 12 seconds. We ran the ball. Our guys got into a shoving match. The quarter ends. Then we go down. We have a hell of a run. on a physical play, and then we scored a touchdown. And then we had other runs after that, and we had the passes that Brady was actually starting to get into a rhythm against Jacksonville. That was the brand of football that I want our guys to see, and I showed the whole team that. Right, defensively, I mean, there were some games early in the season that we were really, really like stymie as far as stopping the run and playing the pass. I showed our guys that. That's the brand that we want to play with.
Don't let go of the rope. Don't let go of the rope.
Can you imagine being in that team meeting and Aaron Glenn tries to show you a drive where the drive started with the Jets down 40-13? Here's our brand. Running the ball effectively in garbage time, gentlemen. That's how we do it around here. That's what Kotite taught me. Enough of Bill Parcells, all right? Bill Parcells should not be disrespected by being associated with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is a disciple of Rich Kotite. That's who he's a disciple of. If you bring up Parcells, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. We should respect Bill Parcells and what he did for the Jets and not tarnish his legacy by even saying that Aaron Glenn is a disciple of Bill Parcells, because he's not. JT says, some whiskey to drown the pain. Jake, I know, brother. Praying to God, Muji hires people that are smart and will not listen to Glenn and take over, assuming he really does not interfere and lets them do what they want. If I'm Muji, I am doing everything in my power to separate myself from this head coach. Scruffle says, his way of dealing with Rodgers showed his real competence. Bro's got to go. I mean, just the way that was handled was incredibly unprofessional. I said it at the time. Make the guy fly all the way in just to say, get out. And he showed his insecurity when he said to Rodgers, I can't have you on the team with everyone in the team meeting looking back at you. A great leader wouldn't worry about that. A great leader would want a Hall of Fame quarterback to help him win games, draft someone behind him so he can mentor him. That would have been smart. But again, he had every right to move on from Rodgers. I said it then. I'll continue to say it. My issue is, you can't tell me Justin Fields has never been coached up properly. Puff your chest on what you're going to be able to do with him. Give him $30 million guaranteed. Hand him a starting job when you're making everyone else compete for a starting job, a la Joe Tippmann. And then he's this bad, right? Fields was never good, but he had never been this bad. That's where I struggle with now letting this regime pick a quarterback. They had their chance. They showed you nothing with Fields. Why are we letting them get another pick? Aaron Glenn also said Brady Cook could be able to play in the league for a while. Really? That one's not as big of a deal as Fields, obviously. But again, there's just no evidence that he has any idea what he's doing. William says, I'm tired of wearing Jets apparel in public and people express sympathy like my mom died. How do you think I feel, man? I feel you. Luppy says, we are historically bad. If Glenn stays, we're in for 5 more years of crap. It could turn quickly. It doesn't need to be. You know, people forget, once upon a time when the Jets had a first-year coach, they were successful in that first year. Parcells took over a 1-win team. They won 9 his first year. Al Groh took over, and they actually had a winning season. Now, they should have made the playoffs. They choked in 2000. 01 Herm made the playoffs. I mean, Mangini in 06 made the playoffs. The man genius. Rex in 09, enough said. Hell, even Bowles had a winning year his first season. The last time the Jets have had a winning year. The train all started to go downhill with Gase, who's 7-9, by the way, is still the best season they've had since the Fitzpatrick year based on winning percentage. Because the only other years the Jets had with 7 wins was under the 17-game season. They finished 7-10 with Saleh and Douglas in 22 and 23. Duncan says Sauce went 1-16 this year. Does he get the first pick? Well, he helped us get 2 of them, so thank you, Sauce. PBM in the house. Great call by PBM on the radio show this morning. Went in on Tannenbaum. It was very well said and passionate from a Jet fan. We are stuck with Glenn, and next year the ceiling's 5-12, and the floor is even worse than this year. May God have mercy on us. Amen. Luppy delivers 5 memberships. Give him a hug.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Joe the Jet says, if I'm Dante, I want no part of this I'm going back to school. I might not see this team get to the playoffs in our lifetime. F. Woody and Glenn. I feel your pain, bro. Carlos, again, thank you, Carlos. Appreciate your super chats tonight, my friend. I was thinking if Mike Tomlin loses his job after tonight, if that happens, would that make Woody think twice about keeping Glenn? That would make a good owner do something, but, you know. Jets worldwide in the house. We drove Justin Fields to tears. Yeah. Welcome to hell, Justin Fields. You're the quarterback of the Jets. All right, more of your calls right now. A lot of you on the line, so I want to try and get to everyone. Appreciate all of you for holding. Frank is next. Hey, Frank.
Oh, God. Jake, do you remember years ago on the SNY postgame show when Ray Lucas and everybody would deliver their report cards?
Yep.
To quote Ray Lucas, coaching, F. Offense, F. Defense, F. Special teams, F. And you got to give ownership, F. I live down here in Tampa, Florida. After 1 year of not making the playoffs, they want Todd Bowles gone. They want him fired. They don't even want to hear, and he's not going to get fired. But Tampa Bay fans want him gone. They were desperate. I'll tell you, the beat of Tampa Bay, they were furious that Jason Light and Bucks ownership kept Todd Bowles as the head coach and let Liam Cohen walk. The New York Jets and Woody Johnson should be embarrassed to even consider bringing back Aaron Glenn next year. Again, as you mentioned, this is the perfect time to start with a clean slate. You can admit you were wrong. You could say, hey, it was a bad hire. We all make mistakes. I'm going to work on getting an offensive-minded head coach. We're going to draft a quarterback. We're going to get a veteran in here so that way we don't have to rush this kid.
Frank, it's the Gase hire all over again. We knew Gase wasn't the guy. He got the job.
Right.
He started 1-7. We knew he wasn't the guy. But then, they finished 7-9. But we still had reservations, rightfully so, right? But we know he wasn't the guy. They should have cut bait after a year. They didn't. They ruined Sam Darnold. Now we're in this hellhole again. Don't do the same thing all over again. We know the coach is not it. They're never winning with this guy. We have no chance of making the playoffs next year. The drought will be at 16 and counting, and there'll be a new coach in 2027.
And
why are we bothering?
One thing I want to mention, I saw somebody who responded to you on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Somebody said, oh, just look at the stats. Under Saleh, his first year, Jets defense gave up 29.3 points per game. The offense averaged 13.9 points per game. The first year under Aaron Glenn, they gave up 29.6, and the offense averaged 13.4 a game. I was listening to it, I was like, but at least Saleh had the benefit of having Zach Wilson, a rookie quarterback. You weren't expecting to win 10 games or 7 games with Zach Wilson as your rookie quarterback. Aaron Glenn made the decision, and people think that it was Darren Muji who wanted Aaron Rodgers gone. It wasn't Muji. It was Aaron Glenn who wanted him gone. Aaron Glenn pushed Aaron Rodgers out the door. So the idea that it was Muji who wanted Aaron Rodgers gone, that's just not true. So the idea that Aaron Glenn didn't co-sign, but he pushed to get Aaron Rodgers out of the door and bring in Justin Fields shows you he cannot evaluate talent. I don't care if Dante Moore does declare. You cannot, whether it's Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, Garrett Nussmeier, it doesn't matter. You know what's even more proof of that you need an offensive mind? Kellen Moore. Look at what he did with Tyler Shuck. Fans were clowning the Saints for taking Tyler Shuck in the second round. You're telling me Tyler Shuck didn't look better than Justin Fields this year? Tyler Shuck looked better than every quarterback on the Jets roster this year. And why? Because he had an offensive-minded coach. Offensive-minded coach, first-time head coach in Kellen Moore. He looked better than every Jets quarterback in the last 5 years. Except for Aaron Rodgers. Excuse me.
Yeah, Frank, great call. Because you're right. It's all coaching, man. So why give Aaron Glenn a chance to ruin another quarterback? Why? I mean, I wouldn't, but obviously Woody Johnson always makes the wrong decision. So why would we expect him to do the right thing here? More of your calls. I know what we need.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, my brother.
Hello, Neil.
Down here in sunny FLA, smoking a nice Cuban. I just had a wonderful day with Peter and Joanne. We enjoyed a wonderful meal from Chef Michelle Lasagna. Stuffed crab meat, mushrooms, Reggiano Parmesan chunks.
I'm happy for you.
We
You
had
deserve
a
it.
meal to choke a horse. Peter, I saw his stomach grow as he kept eating and eating and eating. And then we wanted to. This was the back. Put Peter on. He's on the thing. See if we can get him on.
All right, you want Peter? I'll give you Peter.
Oh shit!
Hey, Jake, how are you?
Hey, Peter. I'm great.
Yeah, we ate like crazy. Michelle cooked. and everything was going our way. You know, the Giants won. The Raiders won, even though it didn't matter. I was wishful thinking.
It did help the Jets, though, because that pick now in the second round, for what it's worth, is 33. Like, the Jets got everything they needed draft-wise today. That's not what it's about. It's now about do the right thing and set yourself up for success with a new coaching staff.
Jake, there's no sense of us picking Dante Moore, Mendoza, if we're going to keep this coaching staff. They can't coach anything. The offensive line stinks. The defense stinks. Everything stinks. They're running. There's no holes. There's nothing. They don't know what they're doing. What do they practice all week? Do they know how to hand off the ball? Do they know how to open a hole? The offensive line is lost. This whole team is lost. And Woody Johnson, if he doesn't fire this guy, he's out of his mind. You can't keep this guy. You're wasting your time. He's clueless to the game of football. Yep. He's absolutely clueless.
I think Neil agrees. Am I wrong?
Yeah, the only thing I could add to with that is it seems to me that as poorly as these guys have played, it's that they want the coach gone, Jake. I mean, nobody gave any effort the last 4 weeks whatsoever. It looks as if they just want to signal to the ownership, we want him gone. I don't see any resolve and anybody standing up for him. I mean, certain players stood up for Saleh. You know what I mean? There were guys, he had his little clique. Glenn has nobody that supports him.
The guys he gave contract extensions to, like Ruckert and Josh Myers, will say something, but it's not. It's no one that actually matters, because how could they? Like Jermaine Johnson, who's supposed to be a leader on this team, he knows the coach doesn't know what he's doing. He scoffed at the question when it came to effort last week. They know. They were around Saleh. Quinton Williams couldn't wait to get out of here. He played for Gase, and he knows. He knew. They all know.
I know for a fact that they want Mendoza, and watch the idiots, because they think that will help everything. Give up four number ones for him, or three. They're out of their minds. No, it doesn't matter who they get. It's not going to make any difference. Get rid of these guys. Get Brady in here, Kingsbury. I don't care who you get in here. It's got to be better than. They're worse than the last crew we had. These guys are clueless, and Tannenbaum should be hung for bringing this guy in and telling Woody how great he is. And I'm going to call up Sunday. I'm going to call you up when is it, next week? Is he on?
I want, though, Peter, at the end of the day, what do you want the guy to say? That he made a bad decision?
I want a refund. And I want him to admit that he's an asshole. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Right. All right.
Well, don't say asshole on the radio, because they'll dump you, but I'd be happy to put you on with Mike if you call into the show next Sunday.
I will.
I would do that as well. But I will say this to you. I'm 1 year closer. At some point, I used to be a big Knick fan. I used to watch them, and they lose year after year after year. And finally, I got rid of that monkey on my back. Then it was the Mets after 86 and all the thing. Another 5 years, 10 years, 20. Now I'm like almost indifferent with the Mets. There's only one more monkey on my back to get rid of, and it's this team. And I hope one day, Jake, I love you, but you're my psychiatrist. And I hope one day I'm going to be cured of rooting for this miserable son of a bitchin' team and the aggravation it creates in my life. Although it's created some good things, I have to say. It's brought me to guys like Rob and Peter and you and all the Asmaniacs. It's, created some bond, but we're like a bunch of miserable people stuck in a jail cell together. I feel like we're in Shawshank and we're all sitting around waiting for the release. And, if they don't get rid of Glenn tomorrow, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, Jake, because I heard something in the Times that he has some kind of exit interview tomorrow. Is that right?
Well, I mean, he's going to do exit interviews with the players or whatever. I mean, all the insiders who are supposed to know said he's back.
I don't care about the insiders. They don't know what Woody's thinking.
Well, again, that's before they got their doors blown off today. Maybe Woody could actually have some self-reflection. I don't know. I mean, I'd be embarrassed if this was how we'd end the year, being outscored by a division opponent the way they were. They literally set an NFL record, not just the interception stuff. They're the first team to ever lose by 23 points or more 5 weeks in a row. The NFL is built for games to be close. There's a reason why most point spreads don't get the double digits. Naturally, most games are within a score in the fourth quarter. That's why when you see betting lines, it's a big deal when you see a double-digit spread or a spread that's over 13, right? 2 scores. Two touchdowns. You don't see that very often because the league is built for parity, for close games, right? The Jets just broke a record that's never been done.
Right.
5 games in a row of losing by 23 or more.
It's not even how they lost, Jake. It's the fact that they're losing in their division.
Yes.
I mean, the key is the division. Divisional teams always play close because they know each other and play twice a year with each other. That's why every divisional game is close. Even when the Jets sucked, they could beat Miami. They could always get a game against another divisional team. You know, look at Cleveland. Look at all the divisions, right? What is the team that could always – what is the Falcons always beat the Rams? I mean, there's teams in the interdivisional teams that could always beat their divisional squads because they know each other. By the fact that we got blown out to the extent we did shows you how far this team is from really performing, because that's the key. I mean, the Giants are right there now because they got their quarterback, they got the defense set up, they're a coach away, and they know how to play their division and can win the division. That's what we need, and we just don't have that with this current coaching staff. It's
Jake,
not gonna happen.
I want to thank you for going on every podcast you possibly could.
Yes.
Trying to get rid of this guy, because somebody's got to do it.
Right. That's it, Jake.
And you're
You
doing
were
a
really
great
good with
job,
that.
Jake, because he stinks and he should not be a head coach.
Well,
I can't believe 40% of the fan base, they did a poll, Jake.
What poll?
40% of
Who did
this
the poll?
fan base still wants him back.
What poll? Who did a poll?
I don't understand. I don't get it. I heard
Aaron Glenn's family had the poll.
Yeah, I don't know what the poll is. I do know this. I don't enjoy having to say this, but we got to be honest with ourselves, guys. And that's where it comes from. I want the Jets to not suck. And unfortunately, with this head coach, they will continue to suck. Shout out to Peter and Neil, two of the greats. I don't know where this poll is. If we did a poll of our audience, it would be probably 90-10. He should go. All right. Most Jet fans, I believe, know this head coach is not the guy. The loud people on Twitter, whatever. I don't care. You read my mentions from these delusional people. Anyone who's defending Aaron Glenn as a coach, ask them one simple question. What does he do well as a head coach? You will get some of the craziest answers yesterday. One guy yesterday said his challenge success. That is what I got from someone on Twitter yesterday. When they bring up the penalties, show them that they actually have not really improved that drastically in penalties. And also remind them that Denver commits the most penalties in the league, so who cares? It's about winning games. Or sorry, Jacksonville's number 1 in penalties, Denver's 4, Chicago's 6. We need to stop pretending penalties is what matters. It can hurt you. But again, when someone asks, when someone says, oh, they got to bring Glenn back, just say, what does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? They will not give you a legitimate answer. If they say special teams, say great. Thank you for Chris Banjo. The next head coach can have him as well. That's what Mike Vrabel did. I'm actually going to run a poll on this show because I'm curious. We still got 1,500 watching right now. Everyone hit the like button, please. I'm going to give you guys a poll. Should the Jets fire Aaron Glenn? And we'll make it very simple. Yes or no? Because I have a pretty good feeling how this is going to go. Because anyone with a brain understands what exactly they're watching. Again, the question is, should the Jets fire Aaron Glenn? Poll is now live. Ladies and gentlemen, vote, vote, vote. Otherwise, Aaron Glenn will hang you by his rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
And that rhymes, baby. All right, more calls here. Let's say hello to Ron, who's up next on our show tonight. Hello, Ron.
Oh, hi, Jake. You just brought something up about exit interviews. Now, if all the players are going to be interviewed upon their exit, and if they just spoke their mind about Glenn, spoke honestly that they felt they didn't want to be coached by him anymore, I would hope that would have some kind of impact on, you're talking about building a culture and a team. And if a majority of the team didn't want to play for him again, you would think that would have, some impact on maybe getting rid of him. I can only imagine. A few points here. So, another thing is, as far as them having to possibly make a bunch of changes, if they did keep Glenn, he'd be firing coaches that he brought in. The point may have been brought up several times. I'm not sure. I haven't been on the whole show, but You hired all these guys, and after 1 year, one season, you're letting them go. Most likely there's to be several. So that's an indictment on you, as that you brought these people in using your experience, your judgment on these people. You brought them in, and now you're getting rid of them after a year. Oh, this didn't work out. So that means you didn't really know much in the first place. There's a bunch of different things. I originally got on to tell you about how Christmas every year, everybody always got me all kind of Jet merch, jackets, stuff like that. This year I said, hey, everybody, I got plenty of stuff, but I don't wear it now because it's embarrassing. I'll throw a hat on here and there. But the worst part is my son, who I always wanted to be a Jet fan. I know your dad turned you into one. I didn't take him to his first game until last year. 15 years I waited because I didn't want him to see shit football. And because for a kid to go into school, and so I went to the Jet game, and people tell you your team sucks. They lose they don't want to be a fan anymore if they just try not to. So my son this year said, instead of me getting, I'm like, a hat or a shirt, he said, not just to me, he said, hey, everybody, please don't give me any Jet gear. So I would think in the long run, this younger generation coming up, they don't like to be a fan of a loser. They don't want to wear the stuff out in public and have people bust their balls.
Ron, it's 15 years of just being horrible. Like the kids in high school have no memory of the last time the Jets were good. I was a sophomore in high school the last time they were in the playoffs. Half my life, the Jets have been a disgrace. So kids grow up, they're like, yeah, I'm a Jet fan, but they care more about their fantasy team. They care more about the bets they're making if they're of age. No one actually cares because they've been so bad. They have no memories like we did of when the Jets actually were a successful franchise for different periods.
I can only imagine as a businessman what he's going to see the merchandise going down because, like I said, you're not going to want to buy it. You don't want to wear it. And once again, I'm a fan. I'll always be. I was a 25-year season ticket holder. All that stuff, and I don't want to pay the when they did the PSLs, I don't want to pay that. They were going to charge me too much for my seats. I said, I'll do like you said, just go, buy them online if I want to after that. But like I said, these kids are not that generation. They're not going to buy the stuff. They're not going to buy stuff for a losing team. So in the end, in the long run, the team will feel it. They'll, and they're not going to games. Luckily, I bought my son to his first game in years because I didn't want him to go and see a shit team. So I took him last year. The company I work for has a box at the stadium, so we went and saw the Aaron Rodgers against the Patriot game. Probably the only good game in the last couple of years, but that was it. So we had a good experience, so we're still hanging on. So I need this team to get good somewhere along the way here. All right. Not with Glenn. I know that.
Ron, excellent call, man. I love your passion. I feel for your kids. I saw this comment from CJ Lamb. You never fire a coach after 1 year. Really? Let's look at the coaches who have been fired after 1 year, and let's look at what's happened since. Chip Kelly fired, Shanahan made the playoffs. Steve Wilkes fired, Cliff Kingsbury made the playoffs. Freddie Kitchens fired, Stefanski made the playoffs. Urban Meyer fired, Doug Peterson made the playoffs. Lovie Smith fired, D'Amico Ryans made the playoffs. Hackett fired, Sean Payton made the playoffs. Frank Reich fired, Dave Canales made the playoffs. Gerard Mayo fired, Mike Vrabel made the playoffs. Pierce fired, leads to Pete Carroll. They now have the number one pick. They're better set up. Again, there's this idea, you can't fire a coach after 1 year. Bullshit. Yes, you can. Get out if you're not on board.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Don't give me a concrete, you never fire a coach after 1 year. Why the fuck not? Excuse my language, but I'm tired of that logic. That logic is how you get Aaron Glenn for another year. Going nowhere. That's how we get 5-12 next year and ruin year one of Dante Moore. By the way, here's Jermaine Johnson after the game. This quote should alarm everybody. Where are the Glenn truthers with this one? Here we go.
He said this is on me. He said that's what he told you guys. I'm just kind of curious what your reaction was to that message.
Honestly, and I hope y'all don't quote this wrong, but this has definitely been the worst season I've been a part of as a team. And keyword apart. I got my hands in it. My hands are bloody. Everybody's hands are bloody in this. So for him to say that's on him, I don't fully agree. I think everybody's hands are dirty, and I know the character of the men.
out there, we're definitely going to remember this feeling and not let it happen again.
Yep, I'm sure. This was the worst season he's been a part of. Think about some of the seasons this man's been a part of already. Joke. Philly says, I would not want to hug my boss after today. If Woody Johnson gives Aaron Glenn a hug tomorrow, he's a fool.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
You give him a pink slip. Fire him. Enough. We could acknowledge Glenn is a good guy. He was a great Jet. He's a good assistant coach. We can acknowledge that and say he's not a head coach and move on. He's got $40 million coming to him. He'll be okay. All right? He'll be okay. Dan says Tannenbaum's a Glenn truther. Mike's in a tough spot. He helped hire him. I expect him to defend him. I expect me to be able to go off on him, which I did today. So people can check that out if they want to hear it. Because I'm sick of it. Like, you can't convince me Aaron Glenn's a good coach. Because anyone who's trying to defend him, like Mike did today, I asked him a very simple question. What does Aaron Glenn do well? Crickets. Challenges are pretty good. Field goal protection, let me tell you. It's just such a joke. Frank says, everyone do your part and call the Jets organization. Tell them you won't get tickets if Glenn's back. Can't hurt. I agree. I'm not going to tell people how to fan, but I mean, anyone who's continuing to renew season tickets where they increased your rate after this 3-14 historically bad season, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't. I will not go to a game next year other than the Asmaniac meetup one. Because that's more about our community than it is even about the Jets at that point. That's it. I'll do our road trip game. Hopefully it's a schedule that's favorable for a cool city like Chicago or Nashville next year. And that's it. Because this team's going to suck again next year. Don't be fooled. Mark says, I feel like we're playing a different sport. I wish Woody would sell and go hide his Crystal Palace. I know it won't happen, but a guy can dream. That'd be great. Gary V, I know you watch this show. We need you, bro. Gotham says, sorry, Jake, missed the beginning, but hear me out. Giants screwed up. New coach will want his guy. They trade up the two with us. We get Dart and their first round. We get Dart and their first rounder. Been seeing whispers they may want to. I don't think that's happening, Gotham. The debate with the Giants would have been if they had the number one pick, would a GM come in and say Mendoza is the guy I want? Like Tannenbaum swears by Mendoza. Oh, there goes Lamar Jackson. Someone better get him. Like that would be the debate. They're picking what? 7 right now? Where are the Giants after this mess? They're at 5 right now. We'll see where are they locked at 5? I guess they would be landlocked at 5, it looks like. I don't think they're coming up. Now, would I take Dart if the Giants wanted to actually do a deal? Sure. I don't think it's happening. I think the next head coach would take the Giant job because of Dart, not to trade away assets to get an unproven quarterback. Dart could play. He's a good player. He needs coaching. He needs a team around him. Frankie says, Saleh won 7 games with Zach Wilson. What's Glenn's excuse? I don't know, because Justin Fields is in year 5. He said he's never been coached properly. He's never played worse. What?
Calm your freaky down.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I meant to play this.
Just don't let go of the rope.
You can't let go, man. Also, but you should calm your freaky down, right, Beast?
That had a kick to it.
Great talk. All right, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to a man who used to not have an intro. But then we said, you know what? He needs an intro. Gator, where's my intro? It's here.
Gator, where is my intro? I need a cool intro. I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You did intros for Papa Jet, and Adam is too cool. I'm worthy of an intro, Gator. I don't understand why I don't have an intro. You suck, Gator. You really suck.
Jake, come on, brother. How are you, buddy?
Hello, Rob.
I tell you, Jake, I mean, we were one of the few who really didn't have confidence in this quarterback. I mean, people can go back to the beginning and read down there where I had 4 wins from the beginning of the year. I had no confidence in this coach, and B, definitely not this quarterback. Okay, but Jake, we're sitting here, okay, and I don't see why nobody sees it. I mean, like they're saying, like you're asking the question, what does he do well, Aaron Glenn? Correct?
It's a simple question, right? If anyone defends Aaron Glenn, ask the question, what does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? That's all you have to ask.
Well, there is one thing that he does really well, and I'm shocked that you don't have it. Do you know what it is?
Lose.
There you go. He does that very well. He does that very well because he's a loser. He sucks. He fucking sucks, Jake. And you know what? We got to move on from this guy. You know, we do got to take one of these quarterbacks. I don't want to wait until the following year or I don't know, take the quarterback in the second or third round. I still think they got to take one of these quarterbacks. It either be in Dante or be in, you know, my pick is Mendoza. And I agree with you. I don't think this guy knows how to coach anybody up. Okay. But if Tanner got fired, if he did, let's pretend that he does get fired. If Tanner gets fired and Wilkes already got fired and they got, let's say for defensive coordinator, they got Wink or even Jim Leonard on the defensive side. And on the offensive side, they got a reputable play caller, Kubiak, or somebody who knew how to call games. Now, there's Glenn, again, probably title of not doing anything because he probably wouldn't do anything other than hug people. It would put us in the right direction of winning, spite him. And I would think that would be the only way to save his possible hide. But, you know, is that going to happen? No, I know it's not. But, I mean, what other thing can we do here, Jake? We're going to wait until next year, and we're going to sit there 1-6, 1-7, and then he's going to get fired. And then there goes 2026. We got to go through another year of sucking, another year. And this is what we were afraid of, Jake. This is the reason why we wanted Aaron Glenn to stay just one more year with Dante. And you know what? We would have had
Rodgers. It wouldn't have mattered, Rob, because the reality is if they brought Rodgers, he would not win with his team. The defense would still suck. I doubt him and Glenn would get along. And all the blame would be on Rodgers and not the fact that the coach doesn't know what he's doing. So we avoid that. Let Rodgers maybe win the division tonight. You know, at least he goes out with, you know, playing competently with a winning record, win or lose. And that's it. I mean, it's a joke. Dan says, hug goodbye. Yeah, that's what it should be. All right, more calls. Appreciate all of you on the line. We're going to get to everyone if you're on hold. We have a raffle for a signed Rex Ryan helmet. Right now, we only have 16 memberships that have been gifted during the show. I'm going to gift 5 right now. So guess what? 5 right now to the best listeners who support a show about a football team that has not made the playoffs longer than any team in professional sports. You guys are the best. I just gifted 5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hugs for everybody.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
If you hear your name, you're in our Rex Ryan helmet raffle coming up. Kyle Medina, Tommy L, Unreal NYC, Jets Gotta Go, Ryan P, all receiving a gifted membership from yours truly. Since we're so into polling, by the way, we're running a poll. Should the Jets fire Glenn? 88% say yes. No is 12%. There's been 459 votes that have been cast thus far. Sad. The Lup Man is next. What's up, Luppy?
Hey, Jake, how you been, man? It's been a while. I know.
Luppy, miss you, man.
Yeah, I miss you too. It's my busy season, so I wasn't able to see it live. I watch you all the time, off the live stream. Jesus, Jake, Jesus, this is a bad time to call in. But the writing is on the wall, right, Jake? Everybody sees the writing. I think Woody cannot read. If he read the wall, it says, Glenn, he picked the defensive coordinator. He sucked. He picked Fields. He sucked.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was about coaching. The coaching sucked. He said we're going to be, a team that we can be proud of. I ain't proud of this shit. He's wrong again. I mean, can anybody else see can Woody see what we see? It's absolutely horrible. I can't take this anymore, Jake. I mean, somebody needs to get some smelling salt under Woody's freaking nose because he's got to see what we all see. You didn't want a coach that was not a first-time head coach. I didn't want it. A lot of the really old Jet fans knew that this team needed somebody who was a veteran coach that could take us to the next level, who at least knew what was to be competent. We aren't even competent, Jake. We're a fucking joke. We're a laughing stock of this NFL. We are. This is the worst team I've seen ever, and I've seen the coach I've seen. This is just embarrassing.
They're a joke. They're a joke. They're the worst franchise in sports. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, well said, Lubby. They're the worst franchise in sports right now. That's where the Jets are at. They have the longest playoff drought in sports. There's no direction. They hire first timers who have no clue what they're doing. It's as bad as I've ever seen it. I am as helpless as I have ever been as a Jet fan. It is,
and we're playing like a minor league team, and we have talent. Not great talent, but you know what? Good coaching makes talent better. We make our talent worse.
Yep.
The coaching staff is hard. I don't care who we got to get rid of. We got to get rid of everybody. You want to talk about cleaning house? Get a veteran coach in there, even if we don't believe in him, but just somebody who has some sort of competency. I'm sorry, a couple. You have to watch this team. But we need to get somebody in there who's established, and there's nobody there. We don't have a Parcells to save us like we did back then. Back then, we needed that, and we got it. We can't keep going to that well. There's nobody left. I don't know who else we can do this with, but we need somebody who's a veteran coach to come in. And if Woody doesn't see the writing on the wall, he's freaking blind. He's blind. I don't know what he's blinded by. Jake, what is he looking at? Can we get some perspective on that? Oh my God, I'm sorry, Jake. I just don't want to be negative. I haven't talked to you in a while. Usually it's positive with me. I'm always positive, but damn.
There's nothing to be positive about, man. People will say, oh, the cap space or the draft picks. Great. We've seen this before. It doesn't matter. You have a head coach who's incompetent. You're never winning. You will ruin a quarterback. You will not. You'll get a short-term boost, and maybe instead of 3 wins, maybe they could win 6. You're never winning shit with Aaron Glenn as your head coach. Save the tape, play it again in my face if I'm wrong. I hope I am, but I'm not going to be. We all know how this ends. They will have a coach search a year from now. We know what happens. They're probably going to start 1-5. They're going to have a brutal schedule next year without any coaching.
Writing on the wall,
no
Jake. That's what you're reading.
I know.
You're reading the writing on the wall, but. Jake, no one wants to come here. There are agents saying that don't go into the Jets. We need to change that. We can change that by getting rid of Glenn and this coaching. So we got to get rid of everybody.
Well,
we need to get somebody in there.
Who are they beating next year? Again, they went 0-6 in the AFC East. They going to beat the Chiefs? Are they going to beat the Chargers?
Nope.
Are they going to beat the Packers? The Vikings will be better next year. The Bears, the Lions. I mean, where are the wins coming from? Maybe Cleveland, the Raiders. Okay. Maybe Tennessee. Again, this is probably a 4 or 5 win team next year if we're lucky. The Jets will enter almost all these games with a stark disadvantage at both quarterback and head coach, and probably both. Like a stark disadvantage in most of these games next year. And we're just going to be okay with it. All the Jet fans who want to keep Glenn, enjoy next year because I will be waiting. I am counting down the days to 2027 when we get a new head coach to come in and hopefully save the career of Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza at that point.
He needs to be one and done. We definitely have to. We saw the right. If we see it, Jake, he's got to see it. We got to be one and done with this coaching staff because we have a good availability of draft picks. We have great cap space. This is a good job for somebody to come in. If we get rid of this coaching staff, this is a destination in New York. Make a name for yourself. If we have an established head coach, this could be a good place to go to, but with Glenn, it's not. And if he's in there next year, I'm gonna be like burning my eyes out watching this team. Where?
Luffy, hang in there, man. You're the best.
Love you too, buddy.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
All right, more calls. Bob up and down is next. Hey, Bob.
This is the worst it's ever been. I've been watching this team since John Riggins was wearing green. I remember when Joe Walton threw his headset on the ground and tripped over it. Bruce Coslett had Kenny O'Brien punt on 3rd down and thought it was a good idea. and defended it afterwards. This is worse. This is the worst it's ever been, and it's not going to get better. We're gonna draft Dante Moore, and we're going to do the exact same thing for the next 5 years. We're doomed. I don't know what else to say.
I wish I could tell you you're wrong, Bob. The hope would be that it's so bad, you get rid of the coach after next year, and that new guy could come in and maybe salvage things, assuming they still have the draft picks. They should have more cap space again in 27. I got nothing positive to say because next year is going to suck. It's just about how can we preserve the quarterback. And the Giants, I think, even with how bad they've been, there's hope because they have a quarterback. Like, can Dante Moore show enough, even if the team is dog crap, where a coach would want to come here to develop him, right? Like Caleb Williams had a up and down rookie year, but that was still an attractive job for the best offensive mind. Can the Jets luck into that scenario? Because that's really all it is just hope.
Now, I don't like Dante Moore, but if I were him, there is no way on earth I'm coming here.
I agree.
No way on earth.
Sad, but I agree.
It's a bad situation, and I think Woody's got something from the pharmaceutical industry in that coffee cup he walks around with. I'd like to know what's in that cup. It's as bad as it's ever been. It's worse. So I know he doesn't listen to his fans. He doesn't care. I think he's just sedated all the time.
Well, that'll at least make more sense, Bob. Good call. More of your calls here. Paul is next. Hey, Paul.
What's going on? Sorry. I'm in a good mood because I really think he's going to get canned this week coming up. I just feel like it can't be this bad and there be no ramifications. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to pop this week. You know how long I've been a Jet fan, dude. It's been the worst season I have ever freaking can remember, except for obviously when I've said it 1,000 times over that Kotite was the worst, right? But Tannenbaum made me nauseous today. I was so glad that I think it was Purple Belt Mike jumped on. I loved it because it was like,
yeah,
dude,
Mike had the best call. Mike had the best sports radio call I've heard in a long time. He destroyed Glenn, and Tannenbaum had no answers.
And he did it. He did it perfectly. He didn't raise his tone. He was even keeled, and he knocked it out of the park. And I loved it because Tannenbaum has nothing to say because what has Tannenbaum really done with his career to even to gain this much respect? Like, it's not like he's a Hall of Fame anything anyway.
The key is you convince a billionaire. That's all that matters. If you know how to play the game with a billionaire, right? He worked for Woody, so he knew what Woody would want to hear, what he would say. He got in his ear and got the opportunity to help with the search. Ultimately, though, people can blame Mike, and I'll defend Mike from this standpoint. It's a recommendation. It's on the owner to make the right hire. We could blame Tannenbaum. I think that's lazy. This starts with Woody, and Woody's got a chance to own it and admit a mistake and move forward and not use the 33rd team this go around. But I don't think he's going to. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we wake up tomorrow and Aaron Glenn's out of a job and we can talk about how the Jets now move forward. But I'm not preparing. I
got a lot of faith in Muji. I think this whole time frame going over everything, it just really annoyed me. But the reason why the Tannenbaum stuff annoys me is multiple reasons, which I think bothers everybody else, right? Like, I'm not blaming him, right? But reality is for him to sit there and boo-hoo how hard it is first year, this, that, and the other. There are hundreds of other coaches throughout their careers that came in the first year and did not have issues. And you know what? If anything, you have to tip your cap a little bit more to Saleh than we did, because if they thought that our team was better than what it truly is, well, maybe it was because Saleh actually got better out of their players than he did, because he got the worst out of our players. So don't sit there and feed me that crap, because it's proof. Like, Saleh did better with the same players that you had for the most part. And it nauseates me, but I'm going to feel hope that there is going to be a change this week. All right. I'm not going to be beating myself up over it till I see what happens. I really think that Muji is going to be able to talk some sense into him. He's got to see it. I mean, every stat in the book is saying to fire this guy, and he He has to. It's over. You gave him the full year. It didn't work out. Put him in the office somewhere. We love the guy personally, but not as a coach. He just doesn't have it, man. And they have to see this. So I love you. Purple Belt Mike, dude, great job. I loved it. I was cracking up, and it made me want to call in, but I just listened to the recording because it nauseates me that they think that he's gonna miraculously get better next year. It's not. He had his shot. He was horrible. If he was subpar, I would definitely say, okay, it's first year, let him learn a little bit more. There is no evidence to show that this dude is going to get that much better next year or the year after that he's going to be one of the top coaches in the league in one of the toughest AFC divisions now with Baltimore. I mean, with New England and the Bills. I mean, it was a laughing stock, this game. It nauseated me. I was watching it and watching their second and third string just kick the piss out of us and having a field day. They were laughing and having fun in the game, the last game of the season. It meant nothing to them, and they still kicked our ass. It was embarrassing.
That's right.
It was embarrassing.
Paul, you're spot on, bro. Great call. Your dog seems to agree. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Oh, Pittsburgh's not going to get in. Wow, that was the play call they drew up on 1st and goal with 2 seconds. Huge stop by the Ravens. Pittsburgh had a chance. They could kick the field goal, be down 10-6 at halftime, or the 2 seconds left because they got a PI call in the end zone. Run a play from the 1, and Rodgers did like a toss to, was that Gainwell? And they got stuffed. So the Ravens will go into halftime 10-3. That's a bad play call by Arthur Smith. Jetstream. Not only have the players regressed, so has Glenn's press conferences. He looks shell-shocked. He has no clue how to answer any of their questions the media is asking. He looks like a man who's lost it all that's not a head coach. If Woody doesn't see that, he's a bigger fool than we all think. All right? Aaron Glenn came in puffing his chest. He's demoralized up there. He's got nothing. Ask Aaron Glenn what he does well as a head coach. He'll give you a bullshit like, well, we haven't allowed a field goal that's been blocked this year. Again, anyone who actually tries to entertain the idea what Glenn does well as a head coach, you will laugh at the answers they give you. Check my mentions on Twitter. You have some of the biggest dumbasses to ever grace the internet that have responded to tweets of mine for daring to be critical of a 3-14 coach who is in every bit over his head and has walked back every promise he made. Shout out to Michael, who says, I sent an email to my ticket rep tonight, canceled my season tickets. If the owner doesn't want to eat $40 million when his team's worth $7 billion, then I'm not reaching into my pocket. We deserve better than this. Amen. I will never tell fans how to fan, but I just don't see the benefit of being a season ticket holder. If you want to go to games, buy tickets on the secondary market. It is cheaper. You'll save money. If you want to sit in the same seats you always sit in, you can find seats in the general vicinity. There's plenty available. Who's going to these games? Also, Michael, I think you sent the same super chat twice, so don't worry. I accounted you for both entries with the super chat. So you got 10 raffle tickets for our Rex Ryan signed helmet, which I'm going to give away at the end of the show here. Couple calls left. I want to watch the second half of this game. This is the last post-game show of the year. So, again, I know I'm disgusted with the Jets. You guys are the absolute greatest for supporting the show. I do this year-round. I do this in June and July when there's nothing going on 4 hours a day. I don't know how we're going to get through another year with this coach if that's what happens, but we'll figure it out. So I just want to say you guys are the best. Couple more calls left, including a few legends. We are presented by ZipRecruiter. Let me talk about ZipRecruiter real quick. We're in 2026. We all got big goals. All right, I want to grow the show, expand the community, bigger guests, big sponsors, bigger coverage. You can't do any of that alone. Whether you're building a media company, a brand, running your own business, it's hard to find people who are actually great at what they do. It's like the Jets trying to figure out their quarterback problem every offseason. Everyone says they have the answer, but finding the right fit is the hard part. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in. If you're hiring now, you got challenges. You're trying to fill specialized roles. You're sorting through a mountain of applications. You don't have time to waste on people who aren't qualified. That's why ZipRecruiter makes it easy. Their matching technology works fast to find top talent, so you're not wasting time or money. You can instantly see how many job seekers in your area are qualified for your role. And with ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can unlock top candidates' contact info right away. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for your roles. 4 to 5 employers who post on Zip get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to the exclusive web address and try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Some super chats. This one's from Scruffle. The season seemed like a humiliation ritual, unreal. I mean, they set historic records of ineptitude. Don't tell me they're tanking. It shouldn't look like that. A lot of the players on defense were good players a year ago, and they all regressed. When someone tells you why they shouldn't fire Aaron Glenn and they can't come up with a reason why he did like what he does well, use Glenn's own words against him. He promised player development. Ask that person which players on this team have improved. Right? He promised that this team would play hard for him. Have they? They have one of the worst point differentials in NFL history. There's so many things, but everyone knows. Everyone knows he's a fraud. Michael says, Jake, as a fan base, you need to make sure this does not continue. I can only voice my opinion as a Jet fan. My opinion is not better than yours or anyone else's. I appreciate that people tune in to this show, try to have fun. You got to laugh at how bad the Jets have been, otherwise you'll cry. I can only voice my opinion. My opinion is his head coach needs to go. I know people from the Jets listen to the show. They're not happy with me. I could give a flying F about that. We got to be real. Win games, and I'd be as positive as anyone. But we don't need to pretend like what we're seeing is normal. I'm just one fan. If everyone is, really upset, reach out to your ticket reps if you're a season ticket holder. Voice your displeasure on social media. The Jets have an email where you can contact them on their website. There's ways to get your voice heard. Joe says 0-17, 2026 melt for Manning. Hey, if they don't take a quarterback, they're in position. Adirondack fly guy in the raffle for one. Hell yeah. Paul says, bring back sexy Rexy. I want that helmet. Rex Ryan helmet up for grabs. Paul Faz in the raffle for two. All right, folks. Home stretch. Some legends to close this baby out, including a man who successfully helped engineer the New York Jets to a top 17 pick in the draft once he declared he was a Colts fan. But now he's back to being a Jet fan. Ladies and gentlemen, we say hello to this man.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here I am, Benedict Arnold, clown-sucking douchebag, as Beast would say. This is probably the worst coached Jets team I've seen in my lifetime, Jake. Wouldn't you agree?
And how many years have you been living in your lifetime?
Oh, so I've been following the Jets fully since 2008, so pretty much about 17 years, but I've been alive for 31.
I see. You look good tonight, Charles. By the way, the neck beard has never looked stronger.
Yeah, but my hair's a mess. Anyways, Glenn should be fired. He's been an absolute disgrace. The team has been ill-prepared, uninspired. It's been abysmal. I mean, I know he was a good player, but there's a difference between being a good player and being a good coach, and he was not a very good coach here. He's been god-awful. I mean, they don't have a single INT this year. That's absolutely disgraceful. I mean, if Woody Johnson doesn't consider firing this guy, then he's probably the biggest turd that has ever owned a football team.
What type of turd? Small turd or a large turd?
A humongous turd.
That's strong.
So, I mean, I don't know what else to say, Jake. The season's been disgraceful. It's been painful to witness, painful to experience. I don't know what else to tell you. You've heard it from other Jet fans. They've hated this. They've absolutely despised the season. They want him gone. I want him gone. What else is new? And as for season ticket holders, I wouldn't even consider going to a game at all until shit actually changes.
Let me ask you this, Charles. When you're ranking turds, where does Glenn fall in that category?
Oh, he's number one right now. He's worse than Gase. I wasn't there during Gold Tight.
What about Lou Holtz? Were you there for Lou Holtz?
Yes, Jake. No, I wasn't. I wasn't there for Lou Holtz. No.
Why not?
I wasn't born then, Jake.
Oh, well, you kind of have an older soul, Charles. I wasn't sure.
I appreciate that, Jake. I mean, We all wanted this man to be successful this year, and I felt really spat in our faces. And I feel disrespected, I feel disgraced, and I feel embarrassed. How would you feel, Jake? How do you feel, Jake?
I think that Aaron Glenn has done a horrific job. I think he is as bad at being a head coach as you seemingly are at finding employment.
Fair enough. I appreciate that. Love you, Jake. Peace out.
I love you too, Charles. God bless. Thank you for joining the Colts fan train for part of the year and cursing them. That trade could not have worked out any better. Here's the schedule for next week. Super Wildcard Weekend. Saturday, Rams, Panthers. 4:30. Texans are finally out of the Texans Invitational slot, the old 4:30 Saturday game, because they're a wild card team. Saturday night, Bears against the Packers in Chicago. That game's on Prime. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Bills, Jags. Remember that game when the Bills broke the playoff drought? It was against the Jags. It was like the worst game ever. Now these teams are both really good. 4:30, Niners, Eagles. What a matchup in the wild card round. Chargers, Pats. Go Chargers on Sunday Night Football at 8. Monday night, Texans play the winner of the game going on right now. Either Pittsburgh or Baltimore. So the playoff slate is great. Apparently, Sunday Night Football just aired a graphic dogging the Jets. Good. Wake up, Woody! Wake up! Everyone else sees it. Everyone else knows your franchise is a joke. Fire the coach. Do what is right for your franchise. This fan base has had enough. You are set up with picks, salary cap space. You have an offensive line in place. You have Garrett Wilson. Please do not fail this next quarterback. Dante Moore is going to go back to school if you retain Glenn. Why would he come out? Oregon Jets is an Oregon and a Jet fan. He says, I love the Jets. I love the Ducks. I should be over the moon today. But Dante needs to go back. Enough. I can't do it anymore. Leany in the raffle for 5. We love you, Leany. Yes. Big fella, all I wanted today is to see Hendon Hooker. We couldn't even do that. On to the offseason is going to be interesting. Mr. Chill King says not re-signing Brees is an issue. I don't know if Brees wants to come back. You know, we could say, franchise him, but I don't know. I wouldn't blame him either. I think it's that bad. If they keep Aaron Glenn, I don't blame Brees. I know it's easy to say, God. Why would you want to play for this guy? He does not know what he's doing. And by the way, I would have loved to have seen Hendon Hooker today. Why not? Knob says, Charles hasn't worked an honest day in his life and he's calling for someone to be fired. That's wild work. Uneducated writes in, we should fire Glenn and let Allen coach. He'd 100% be better. I'd also take Gary over Glenn. Love both of those options. They'd win the same amount of games, if not more. Let's be honest. All right, Allen's a little weird.
That guy fucked me twice.
Like, some fans might not be on board with that, but we'd have to, we're just rooting for success at this point. All right. Almost ready for the raffle. Get your last second entries in. Before that, though, we say hello to this man.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
All right, Jake, what is your secret for not losing your voice? Seriously. Like, I think you've been doing this for years, and I think only one time you were actually sick, and I could tell on your voice. What's your secret?
Man, I don't know. I'm blessed that I could talk about a bad football team and have long stamina. Honestly, the more impressive thing is I very rarely take a pee break when I do these shows. Sometimes I play a long clip to give me just enough time to run to the bathroom. But most of the time, I'm like Scott Hansen, man. When he never goes to the bathroom either doing the Red Zone channel, that's kind of me doing this.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, so this was a really nice 17-game preseason for next year. Great job, everybody. This was pathetic. I have an idea that I'm going to mantra into existence. AG's not getting fired tomorrow. They're going to agree to mutually part ways. That way, he's not fired. Woody can be AG's friend and be the boss that he needs to be right now, because the brand damage is higher in this season than it's ever been. Because if he stays, it's just such a stain on the reputation of the Jets as an organization. And there are a lot of people that work at the Jets organization. I think it's a huge gut check time for Woody to just call it for what it is. It was a mistake. I think it's time to just part ways, reset, let Aaron Glenn also reset his career, because, he can't come. If he has a second season like this, there's no coming back. And this gives him at least a chance. I know I've talked about mercy a couple calls ago, but he's got to do this. This is a gut check moment for Woody as an owner.
Again, I wouldn't have any confidence in Woody Johnson doing the right thing.
Yeah, but I do believe in the rubber band effect. I do think that just replacing him with anybody is going to make it a dramatic improvement just in the morale. I mean, I remember, so I went to a high school that has always been really bad at football. They also wore green and white, which is part of the reason why I became a Jets fan. I didn't grow up in a Jets household or any NFL household, but my high school was green and white, and I supported the Jets for that reason, among many. I remember the team was always really bad, but there was one year, it was my junior year, where they actually went winless. They always got one win every year, maybe 2 wins, but the one year they got winless. And I'll never forget, in the training room at the gym, they show the captains of every team and the record, and the 3 captains of that team have the unfortunate memory of having that record on there for everyone to see forever, and they kept the record on there. This will be a memory for Jets fans. This is not the end of the franchise. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of everyone's fandom. But I do think that if there's any time to make a move, this is the reason to do it. There's all the justification in the world. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You don't chase bad money after good, as they say, or good money after bad. You just got to move on. And I think that there's going to be interesting candidates that we know. There could be better candidates that we don't know. But if you reset, I think there'll be a rubber band effect on the organization, and people may be surprised about how quickly things can come back. Look at every team that came to that's like a division winner this year. Nearly all of them are like rubber band effects. You make one key change and everything falls into place. Isn't it amazing how that works? It will happen to us if we make the right move at the right time. This is it. This is the time to do it.
And all that makes sense, Adam. The problem is, if the owner has been conned by the guy who says don't let go of the rope to give him another year, we're stuck.
I think it's tricky because it's a friendship versus boss direct, employee deal. They're friends. It's really hard to fire your friend. It's hard to do, but you got to be able to wear both hats, and you got to say, look, this is not the right move. But I think in terms of things to look forward to next year, not much, but the draft pick will be good. I mean, depends who's making the pick. If Muji has a larger voice in the organization, I think that would be pretty great. But this will be a distant memory, just like Kodite was a distant memory. I know that we're prisoners of this terrible streak of postseason misses, but life will go on. It will definitely be okay. It's okay to be a Jets fan. It's okay to not support them next year and just take a break from them if that's what you want to do. As you said, let fans be fans. If people want to give it a break, give it a break. But I think that next year is going to be better than this year. I mean, people, how does it get? The only way it could get worse, to your point, is the special teams is also bad, and then we're 1-15. But been there, done that. We've been there, done that already in the 90s. So, I mean, I think that it's only going to go up from here. But this was not the plan. I think people need to acknowledge that this plan didn't work. The sooner you reset, the better.
Amen. Problem is, Woody Johnson owns the team, so it's his decision, and he typically makes the wrong one.
A field goal team. Last year we had 3 blocks. This year, we had no blocks.
Joke. Absolute joke. Before we get to the raffle, I'm going to finish counting the names. I have a cut I want to play from a diehard Lions fan, covers the team in Detroit. He's a podcaster there. This was his take on Aaron Glenn a couple months ago, and it's aged very well. Again, this is from someone who knows Aaron Glenn from Detroit. What I do for the Jets, he does for the Lions.
Hey, how's it going, guys? A Lions fan here. Wanted to
You want Aaron Glenn back?
No, absolutely do not want Aaron Glenn back. I definitely feel your pain. Aaron Glenn is definitely not the head coach material for your team. And I am sorry that you guys got bit on this lie. Aaron Glenn in Detroit was extremely arrogant, would never change his ways, but his in-game play calling is atrocious. Not scoring before the halftime twice? That's crazy. This is how he is, Jets fans. He has a way and he doesn't change. I could tell you for 3 years, the mobile quarterback would rip our defense up, do something, make a change, bench players. He wouldn't do it. Years of this. Guys, I think you got Matt Patricia 2.0. When we restarted compared to what you guys is completely different. We basically got a new owner. We got a new general manager. Chris Spielman came in and helped out. We brought in a bunch of Lions former greats. My boss, Herman Moore, he was brought in. You have Barry Sanders in there. Dan Campbell, the blue collar, grit, former player, humble guy. He's never thinking he's better than anybody else. And then you got Brad Holmes, who was all about, finding talent. You put them together. When we had the organization, we had no talent in this team, and we knew we were going to suck. We had nobody, but we had to build it the correct way through the draft. This team has sucked for so long. What we have been doing for many years does not work. We watched the games. We knew that the players were competitive. We knew that our coaches were doing the best that they could do, but we just didn't have the talent. That is the difference between the Lions and the Jets. You guys have far more talent. The quarterback position is one thing that is hurting your team, but the arrogance of Aaron Glenn, inability to remove Justin Fields or bring in another quarterback is what is destroying your franchise right now. I really hope they terminate Aaron Glenn for you and your fans. As a Lions fan, I know what misery is like. I know what watching terrible football is like. And I know when you have somebody that runs a franchise that can really hurt it for many, many years. I really hope they let him go. I think you guys made the wrong hire. I think the media completely lied to you. Everybody said he was this great genius, but as a Lions fan who watched defense every single game and called plays, I was losing my mind. It is not what they told you. Yes, we had injuries. Can't discount all the other years that he was with us. Our defense was trash the whole time. It was 31, 32, 30. And then now we get Shep come in, and it's doing great. You guys do got talent. You're going to have a high draft pick, but they got to cut the cancer out.
We appreciate it, Mike. I'm definitely rooting for the Lions and their fans, another tortured franchise. Turns out the Lions also needed Ben Johnson, too, because that's where the league is. It's all about offensive innovation. Yet we're the Jets, and we always hire first-time defensive coaches. And in this case, this guy's not even a good defensive coach. That's what's so alarming, man. Unreal. Hey, suggestions from the chat. I haven't eaten a thing in hours. What should I eat for dinner as I watch the second half of this game? What should I order on Grubhub? Let me know in the chat. Also, I'm going to close the poll here before we get to the raffle. Should the Jets fire Aaron Glenn? 87% of you said yes. Tomorrow we'll run a poll. Who's the Jet coach in 2027? Because we know it won't be Glenn. Joke. Aussie Jet fan says, watching Brady Cook killed my passion. Fire Glenn. Gator in the house. Will Brady Cook ever take another snap as a pro? Does the 33rd team have any wins? WTF do we do for an open between now and the draft? Draft picks in cap space. Draft kicks in cap space. That's all it is. We'll come up with a song, Gator, about draft picks and cap space. Nothing about actually having faith in the coach. It's all about, hey, we have draft picks and cap space. Carlos says, I want to thank you, Jake, for being there during this horrible year. Carlos, thank you, man. I really appreciate everyone who tunes in. Super chatters, membership people who just watch. I meet people all the time who say, hey, I can't call in, but I listen all the time on delay, or podcast listeners only. Shout out to everyone on Apple and Spotify. You guys are the best. HH says, AG's employment status likely dictates whether Moore stays in school or not. Zero chance he wants to play for Glenn. I wouldn't blame him. Would you? Would you bet your career on Aaron Glenn and the Jets? I wouldn't. Mike Dem's in the raffle for
Just
one.
don't let go of the rope.
We'll see if more comes out. It's still a lot of money to not come out, but I don't know. Jetstream in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. All about that field goal protection. All right, so I was going to get to the raffle, but you know what? This guy called in. I'm sure he has a lot to say. He could really move the Aaron Glenn conversation further.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming. He's standing, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
Honestly, Jake, can you guys hear me?
No way.
Oh, man, this game was embarrassing. I didn't even watch the full game, and you know how bad it was? 35-8. It was embarrassing. You know what is really inept, Jake? We have 0 interceptions the entire 2025 season. That is the most inept thing I've ever seen. This is embarrassing. We need to fire Aaron Glenn right now. I don't even know if Woody Johnson's going to do it. What's your thoughts? Do you think Woody Johnson's going to fire Aaron Glenn? I don't think so. He's probably going to give Aaron Glenn another hug tomorrow morning, honestly. You know a good way to convince Woody Johnson is? If Woody Johnson is even convinced, how about all the Asmaniacs play the New York Jets right now? I was thinking if Woody Johnson thinks, we should keep Aaron Glenn, you know what a good idea is? Have all the Asmaniacs play the New York Jets right now, and if the New York Jets lose, Woody Johnson will maybe finally convince and be like, let's just fire Aaron Glenn when the Asmaniacs actually beat the Jets. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
My thoughts are that Aaron Glenn is a disgrace, Mad Max, and I nominate you to be the next head coach of the Jets.
Sounds good. You know what? If we were making this team to beat the Jets, we'll have Bobby Midnight's our head coach, Black Gypsy's offensive coordinator. We'll have Beast Breaker's defensive coordinator, and then we'll have
Mad Max. What's your dad up to? Because I was very critical of him, but he did win 7 games his first year with the Jets.
He's up to nothing, Jake. But is
Really?
Beast on the line? Is Beast on the line? Because honestly, we're going to talk about the interception. Did you see that players? Is Beast on the line?
That's none of your business. That's none of your business.
Can we please get Beast on the line?
No.
We should. Because I want to talk about how we still have an interception. Because honestly, if Beast,
why do you need Beast on the line to talk about the fact the Jets don't have an interception?
Because if Beast was playing today, because there was this one player who it was like when Mitch Trubisky was passing Coleman, and then there was a deflection, and the Jets player didn't catch it.
Hold on, Mad Max. A couple people in the chat are asking who your dad is. Max's dad is Adam Gase, who used to coach the Jets for 2 years. And,
no, it's not.
Yes,
It's not.
Yes, it is. You got the same eyes as your dad.
No, it's not.
You both do.
Let's get Beast on the line, because honestly, did you see that player that was?
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Today's game was an embarrassment. I could not watch that inbound.
Honestly, Beast, did you see that player that was trying to get an interception today? Honestly, Beast, if you were on the field today, you would have gotten that interception. Honestly,
if I had the leg strength and the wing strength, but unfortunately, what I saw today was a funeral. A dark black funeral.
Honestly,
a casket right there, a pallbearer and an Undertaker right there, and eulogy being presented at Buffalo. I couldn't imagine how horrified I could watch this. It was like saying, okay, time to turn the TV off and just put on another program. Maybe cartoons will actually do a hell of a lot better. Hell, give me Bugs Bunny. Give me Roadrunner. Give me Woody Woodpecker, or Popeye going, whoa!
Honestly,
that's goddamn entertainment. What you saw today was a funeral, and that was a bad funeral. That's why next year, for the love of Christ, please fire Aaron Glenn. The guy has to go before we have an explosion. We've seen several explosions today. Everyone's already on fire today. I'm sorry to say, but this team needs a good swift kick right in the end.
Incredibly well said. All right, who's ready for a raffle? I know I am. Let me make sure I get caught up on the Super Chats. Jetstream, I think I shouted you out. If I didn't, I know I did. Thank you for your kind donation here. 5 more people are channel members. All right, it is time for the raffle, so I need to bring on the master of ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Blubber.
I got gas right now. Bruce is on hiatus today. You guys got the Macho Man Randy Savage, the greatest World Wrestling Federation champion of all time. But I know, Jake, you're very tired. Why don't you order yourself a crispy pizza and I'll take care of this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to spin the 2026 Wheel of Champions. And don't you know what I'm saying? You better know what I'm saying, because if you don't, the Macho Man will tell it like it is. Don't you know? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Dig it.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Big thank you to everyone who entered. If you don't win, that's okay. Tuesday, you got a chance to win 3 signed items. The Maynard signed football, the Revis signed jersey, the Klecko signed jersey. Good luck to everyone. But only one Asmaniac can win our final raffle on a post-game show for the 2025 season. God damn, do I hate rooting for this team, but do I love this fan base. Thank you all for your support all season long. Here we go. One winner. The winner is Carlos Dalamo. Congratulations to Carlos. Carlos AsmanJake@gmail.com. You can email me. Need your full name and address, and I will make sure we get the Rex Ryan signed helmet sent out to you this week. Thank you to Carlos and to everyone who entered our raffle. Carlos, this is for you. Tomorrow on the show at 10 a.m., we have this man.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
He also sometimes does this.
We are mama way.
And from time to time, this.
Did they ever force a damn turnover?
Well, they almost did today, Joe, but nope. Nope, they did not. All right, that does it for me. Love all of you. Thank you for making these post games, therapeutic. There's 3 wins all year. They started 0-7. Didn't really do much for any of us at that point, but man, you guys make it worthwhile. Thank you. These are always the most viewed shows that we do every year. Love all of you. We're back tomorrow. We're in full offseason mode. I don't think Glenn's going to get fired. If he does, we'll be live all day. They're going to have a DC search. They're obviously going to have a ton of changes to the coaching staff. We're going to cover that. I'm going to be at the Senior Bowl with Dom C and Dylan Terraman at the end of the month. So we'll be there for that. They have all the draft picks. They have cap space. We'll cover free agency as we always do. You guys are the best. Love all of you. Wish the Jets didn't suck, but we can't control that. All we can do is somehow root for this team all together and hope better days are ahead. Go Jets. I'll talk to you soon. And in honor of the fact we just gave away a Rex Ryan helmet, I leave you with this. Go Jets.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy, Rexy.
Fuck Gruden, he's no Jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me sexy, Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.
Ooh, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy, sexy. Ooh, he's sexy, Rexy.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.